Let's get nasty on a Friday. It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN with Andrew Marsh, Carey Davis, and Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. 202, your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler.
I see. He forgot his headphones.
No, it's fine. I'll be right back.
You got the extensions.
Yeah,
but
I
not-
have any headphones.
had it plugged in the computer, so
It's his doing this time, not
you guys
ours.
get everybody warmed
nice.
up. I'll be right back.
All right, sounds good.
Alex is right over there. I think he might have stole them.
Oh, watch out, Alex.
So, a lot of talk going on right now, and rightfully so, about the Cardinals and what they're going to do at the trade deadline.
Yep.
A lot of opinions, a lot of wants, a lot of expectations. But ultimately, what would the Cardinals have to do at the deadline for you to say it was a win? Because I think we're going to get a lot of different opinions on this, Carey. You can leave us a mic drop via the 101 ESPN app. We'll still take some text and stuff, but I would love to hear people explain their reasoning almost in long form on the mic drop.
Yeah.
Because I don't think that this is a simple answer. You could say, "Oh, add pitching," and I'll think it's a win. But
I think
what
it's simple.
What if it's the pitching? What if it's pitching you don't like?
Well, then it doesn't count.
Right.
So for me, what would be a win at the trade deadline is adding depth to the starting pitching rotation, which is a number one or a number two, and notice I said and adding a right-handed bat that plays every day with power.
So you're looking for a starter.
Yeah.
Okay.
The hell I need him to come off the bench for?
Where's he going to play?
Not my problem.
Good question.
Not my problem. That's the problem of everyone else.
I'm going to have
I'm serious.
four-man outfield.
I mean,
It's
if you
like
got to do
softball.
it,
Get a rover.
do whatever you need to do. Put Mason Wynn right behind second base and let him just cover all ground. Or just to the left of second, because you can't, well, I guess if you got two people, put him right behind second base. He can cover it all. Have four outfielders. Figure it out. Then you could trade Michael Ciani because now you don't have to have that center fielder that covers so much ground. You can get Tommy Edman in there, your right-handed bat, whatever you need. Alec Burleson can play right field, or Newt, or whoever, whatever.
I
But
wasn't
that's what you need.
expecting.
No, you need a number one or a number two. You ask what I need for me to say it's a win. This is my opinion.
Are you changing the rules of baseball at the same time?
You only got 9 people out there. You just got Mason Wynn. He's a star. He can do a lot.
He can play second and short?
He's amazing. You ain't seen this guy play?
Oh, I've seen it.
All right. So, right-handed bat with power, starter, an ace or a number two, and then you won the trade deadline, and I'm good.
Are you depleting your farm system?
I don't care.
No.
You want to win? Do you want to win?
Yes.
Win. You asked me where they're going to come from. Who are you going to replace? You got a few guys that you can. I'm not saying who. I'm just saying a few.
So what if they don't win and then they suck for the next 10 years?
Well, Marshy, we're talking about right now.
But they went for it.
They went for it. Damn it.
Okay.
All right,
They tried to win.
There's one perspective.
I went to get my headphones. What did you guys give Carey while I was gone?
I almost
wanna
feel.
win.
All right, Carey. I almost feel like you're setting them up purposely for failure.
Why would I want them to fail? I want them to win. I want them to win a championship. We went over this. I don't care about a 100-win season. I don't care about a 95-win season. What'd you do in the playoffs? Did you win a championship? Did you make it to the championship round? Because that matters. You know? Championships.
So you're
Win
depleting.
a pennant.
You're just saying screw it.
So you're saying to, just so I have this right, you're saying to completely decimate the farm system
No.
for this season.
I'm saying if you got guys on your roster now, you need to make room for that right-handed bat.
Who are you trading?
I didn't say it's not my job. Damn it!
But I'm just trying to figure out.
I want this
My
guy
job.
and that guy, but I'm not going to do anything about it.
Carey, I just want to know how you're acquiring your ace and your right-handed bat.
Jamie,
Power
I
bat.
can't, I can't give you this information. That information is going to cost you. Okay?
Well, getting
gonna have
those
to pay
players
me.
is going to cost you as well.
You're going to have to pay me for that information. Now, if the Cardinals want to pay me, I can give them the answers to the test.
You can, huh?
Yeah.
You're still
Silly.
waiting, aren't you?
I'm waiting on the phone call.
You're waiting to figure it out for yourself.
I got it.
No, you don't. I don't get nothing.
But we'll figure it out on the way.
I mean, I like what you're trying to acquire.
Yeah.
I just don't think you have enough to go get those things.
Well, do you want to win? Then you're not going to win.
Yeah, but Carey,
That's what you need. Is that
nothing
not, is
you
that
have
not,
on your roster.
So
to
you
get
all have
those
told
guys.
me, I've heard, the Cardinals need a right-handed bat with power. They need another pitcher. If you need both, go get them both. If you want to win, one or the other ain't going to help you win, is it? If you just get a right-handed bat and don't have the pitching, is that going to help you win?
This
if you
is
just get
like-
the pitching and don't have the right-handed bat, is that going to help you win? You need both.
This reminds me of when, if you're a college kid or whatever, when you get your first credit card, and you just think,
This is free.
I need
doesn't
this.
matter.
I need this. I'm going to go get I don't care.
Yeah.
I've got a credit card.
Yeah.
But then
gotta
you
pay that
don't
bill at
have the
some
money
point.
to pay the credit card.
Well,
And problems
and
happen.
send it to collections, and you
then
deal with it. You kick the can down the road.
Solid
Just
advice
keep
right now for
kicking it
kids who
down
are out
the
there
road.
driving around.
Nope.
Carey, I feel like that's what we're going to end up doing with
You
you.
need a credit score for, huh?
Oh, buy a house, car,
Get a car. Yeah.
anything at all.
When you're
quite honestly.
18, you don't worry about that.
Oh, yeah, mom and dad,
21?
huh?
Ask my daughter. I think she may say yeah.
Oh, I definitely, my kids would say, yeah. I am a line of credit. You know, you listen, how about this story? Big Hoss starts working for me, and he's finished a week. Well, payday's every 2 weeks, first of all, and he wants to go buy something. He's like, well, I got a paycheck, you know? I'm like, yeah, but you don't have the money.
Correct.
So he suggests an idea for me. He says, well, you know how much I get paid. I mean, you're the boss. He's like, so just give me the cash and then you can, take that out of my check. I said, oh, so I'm a line of credit. So I'm a line of credit. I go, well, if that's the case, then I'm charging you
Interest.
on this.
yeah.
He goes, well,
You got to learn.
I'm your son. Why would you do that?
Yeah, but you're borrowing from the boss.
Yeah. It's called interest.
Yeah.
Learn this lesson quickly.
Yeah.
Right.
They just want to treat me like a line of credit. That's a good chase
Without
yourself, son.
any interest.
Yeah.
Without any interest.
John says from the snake pit. So let me get this straight. CD wants a starter and a pitcher, but doesn't know where to play them. Not his problem. That's correct.
My
Yeah.
problem.
Yep.
Somebody else's problem. Somebody that's not performing well. If you need a bat, you all want to go get a bat that's going to play on, that's going to sit on the bench.
I wouldn't consist. Well, I don't think they need
DH.
a bat necessarily.
You don't
Like,
need
to
a
me,
right-handed bat.
What
with power?
right-handed bat out there is going to be in your starting lineup?
Brent Rooker, that's it. Like that's available.
Guys, we know we're getting Kevin Pillar, so stop.
Very true.
Just stop.
Kevin Pillar not going to start every day.
Why not?
With
getting
the
him.
Angels, he
Hey,
will
Whit
be.
Merrifield was just DFA'd.
Was he really?
Anthony rolled his eyes. I don't think he
Whit-
likes
Go
him.
get him.
Whit Merrifield had a really nice career. Emphasis on had. I don't think you need a Whit Merrifield.
Can we be honest about what the Cardinals are going to do?
Oh, we already know that, Carey.
Sure.
Go ahead.
Very minimal. Just enough.
That's why I want to know for everybody else outside of Carey.
I gave you my plan.
Yeah, no, it was.
It was solid.
I don't know how realistic it was. I don't think anybody's going to disagree with you.
Solid.
Like Carey's saying, get an ace and a right-handed power bat.
That starts.
Like, that starts.
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of people are going to say, no, we don't want that. But I don't know how realistic that is.
Okay. I can hear your point on that.
So if your bar
don't agree.
if your bar is that, Carey, then what you're saying is it will not be a win.
Exactly.
Okay. All right.
That's what I'm saying.
All right.
Now
We
get
got
to the
there.
point.
Yeah, realistically, I've said it before. I don't think this team's good enough to be a World Series winner. So why decimate your farm system right now to go all in on a team that's probably not good enough? So that's the realistic viewpoint. If you
Right.
want to make it to the playoffs, I'd say maybe go get like a number 3 starter and bolster your bullpen. The bullpen's been really good, but I'm sure a few arms wouldn't hurt. And if you want a right-handed bat, fine, go off and go get one. But you already have so many players on your team, we don't even know where they're going to play.
Right. That's why I would concentrate on getting a starter and a reliever that I know could pitch in the 7th, 8th, or 9th.
You got 5 starters now. Who's sitting out?
Who cares?
Lance Lynn.
It's not our job, Carey. There's
It's
other
not
people that
our
get
job
paid
Lance
to
Lynn
make
can
those
sit out.
decisions.
You don't like to play
Steven
better.
Matz can remain hurt. Andre Palante can go to the pen.
Names. I just said they can sort it out on their own.
I have
Marshy
to-
is wise beyond his years, though. I want you all to recognize that. This wise young man understands.
Carey, when you said just get in, I took that to heart.
Yeah.
Under your plan, though, they'd have to decimate the farm system. Marsh is saying the team's not good enough to decimate this farm
Because
system.
they don't have what they need right now.
So you guys really aren't agreeing.
Yeah.
No, we're
Carey,
not.
you're just saying.
But he did say I'm wise, so
Yeah.
I'll
He's
take
wise.
that.
Take that.
I'll take that to the bank, baby.
Jamie, how
I'm
about
not-
you?
Yeah, go ahead, Jamie. Tell us what you think.
What I think they're going to do?
No.
What they need to do.
No. What would the Cardinals have to do for you to consider it a win?
All right, so I'm going to
trade deadline.
I'm going to put my opinion somewhere in between what I think they'll do and what Carey wants them to do.
Okay.
And it may not be what you guys like to hear, but again, it's somewhere in the middle. I think the Cardinals need to go get a number 2 starter, at the lowest end, a number 3, and I do feel like with the slumping or bad offense of Arenado and Goldie, they have to find a right-handed bat somewhere.
So you agree with me?
Yeah, ish.
There you go.
But I'm not getting like Luis Robert. I'm not going to go get him because
And
it's
Garrett
going to cost
Crochet?
you too much. And Garrett Crochet, yeah, like I'd love to go
both
get
of
them.
them.
But
Anthony,
I
you
think-
love that. I saw the look. You love that idea. He loved it. He just loved what you said, Jamie.
Garrett
Like
Crochet and
yeah.
Luis Robert,
Both.
Yeah, it'd be awesome.
yeah,
But
great.
You're,
But we don't have enough.
You're not good enough.
You don't
you're
have enough good
decimating your
Because
farm
you don't
system.
have
Good players.
Luis Robert and Garrett Crochet. Marshy?
Those two guys are not going to change things.
Garrett Crochet changes things for me.
He would.
Yeah,
He would.
And what do you have to give up to get those two guys?
Jordan Walker, and probably,
Tink
You guys
Hens.
don't like them anyway. So
I think you
we
can
ain't
get
giving
away
up
without
Lil P.
Tink Hens. I think if you threw McGreevy or Graceffo in there with Jordan Walker, I think you could make it happen.
I think it's Walker, Tink Hens. It's going to be like the 10th best prospect, the 8th best prospect. Somebody
that'd
else
be a no for
in the
me,
low
dog.
A. What's that?
And that'd be a no for me, dog.
I mean,
That's a no for me, dog.
you're acquiring an 8th, and you're acquiring a mid of the order bat. I mean, you're going to have to decimate your farm
And
system.
we're having this conversation like the Cardinals are the only team in Major League Baseball that want this guy.
Oh, they're the only ones
Right.
that
There are
matter for
other
us.
teams in
Correct.
Major League Baseball that have better prospects than the Cardinals do. And
That's
they're
correct.
probably going to get that guy. So let's take our expectations and lower them a little bit.
Nah.
All right, well, what do you think? Well, we're going to answer this question throughout the course of the show. It's going to be kind of a theme. So leave us a mic drop on this. What would the Cardinals have to do at the deadline for you to consider it a win? So, like, the trade deadline passes, and you find yourself saying, okay, I like it. Might not be ultimately what you want. You want this team to go for it and also not give up their top prospects. Not realistic. So what would have you say, okay, I like it. They did what they could. They improved the team. Like, what does that look like to you? We know Carey wants them to add like 2 studs,
2 MVPs.
2 MVPs, figure it out, not give up any prospects. That one might not be realistic, but I like that Carey shared his feelings.
It's a start.
It's a start.
Yeah.
What will Ryan Suter's role be with the Blues? We'll get into that next on 101 ESPN. Don't forget to get your mic drops in. Whoa, geez, I get choked up thinking about the Cardinals and the trade deadline and things like that.
And mic drops.
And mic drops. I just love listener participation and what it means to us here in the fast lane.
It means a lot to you, Anthony.
It does.
I know it does.
I get emotional.
I like that about you.
Thanks for being here, guys. And all of you listening right now in your vehicles, your computers.
On the app.
On the app.
On the app.
Maybe you're mowing the lawn right now.
Maybe you're on the treadmill.
Maybe you're on the treadmill.
Never know.
Working on you. Either way. Thank you. So don't forget to get your mic drops in on our mic drop theme today. What would the Cardinals have to do at the deadline for you to say it was a win? Leave you feeling like, yeah, you know what? I like it. I like what they did. Might not be the most exciting thing, but you would consider it a win. Now, what will Ryan Suter's role be with the Blues as we transition to the Blues? Give you an opportunity to send in some of those mic drops. Jamie, you look at the situation. We talked about this yesterday. Why Doug Armstrong wanted to bring in these players. Now talk to us about what Ryan Suter specifically, what role he'll have with this upcoming Blues team.
Well, the role, I think, is kind of what we outlined yesterday, is he's going to be an accent piece to the top two defensemen. So, like, you have Leddy and Parayko, and I think on the second pair, I think it's Suter and Justin Falk at this point. But it may change depending on, what expectations are and what players do in training camp or what they look like early in the season. But Ryan Suter was on BK and Ferrario, and they asked him a little bit about his role and what his expectations are coming to the Blues. So I'll let him answer that for himself.
Well, that's kind of what excites me. Obviously, a different stage of my career. When you're young, you just want to go out there and you're just all you care about is playing and this, and you need to get that. And you want to play power play. And now I'm at the stage where I want to be, someone that these young guys can talk to, look up to. A lot of them probably, the draft picks probably weren't even alive or were just born when I started playing. So I always joke last year with all the young D. I'm like, guys, they're sitting. I would have them over for Thanksgiving, and we're sitting there, and I go, you guys are closer to my kids than you are in me. So it's just kind of like you said, the mentoring side of it. I'm looking to contribute is anywhere I'm needed to, and be a help for the team.
So that's what you want to hear. If you're Doug Armstrong, you're the Blues, you're the coaching staff, that's what you want to hear from Ryan Suter. Is he's here to be a mentor to the young guys, help the team however he can. I think where things went sideways for Ryan Suter a little bit in his career was as he was getting a little bit older as a veteran and young players were coming in. He does go on to say in this interview with BK and Ferrari that he's like, if I believed that I was better than them, I believed I should play ahead of them. And so I think this is where things, the signals got crossed a little bit in Minnesota. He was very vocal about being better than some of the young players they were bringing in, so therefore he should play more.
Yeah.
Well, that's not as much as you like that from your players, be hungry for playing time. That also could be viewed as maybe not being as helpful as you could be to the roster.
Not being the best team player.
Correct. So, but again, all of that can be kind of confused when you've got an athlete that's hungry to play and a guy that still believes he has a lot left in the tank to play and doesn't want to forfeit his spot on the power play, the penalty kill, the first pair defenseman. So I'm willing to just kind of look past that because what he just said is more important to me. What happened in Minnesota is one thing. Where he is now, signing with the Blues, is something totally different. And I said it yesterday that my career, the start of my career, where I was, even in the middle, to where I ended up, all three of those parts are very different. They look different than each other. And if Ryan Suter's coming in here now as a veteran player, as a leader on this team, and a mentor for some of the young guys, which is what you're going to need, that's a good thing. The flip side of that, too, is he still has gas in the tank. I mean, this guy played on a Stanley Cup contender, got to the Western Conference Final with the Dallas Stars last year, playing 19 minutes a game. That's not a spare part. That's somebody you can use. Now, Father Time has inched his way a little further down the road here. So what does Ryan Suter look like come training camp beginning of the season? I think that's what we'll find out. But worst case scenario, if you have him playing third pair alongside of Matthew Kessel, it's a solid third pair.
Yeah.
And again, you still don't know where the chips are going to fall with all the other, the other 8 defensemen, 9 including Suter. But we know that he's going to be part of the plan for this year. So I liked what he had to say. I think it's important for a veteran player to realize when you're at that point in your career.
I also think that this is where a really strong leadership group comes in, led by your head coach. When Craig Berube took over, he had an idea of how he wanted the structure to be. Who plays where? What roles do you have? And then his next step, which was the most difficult aspect of it, was convincing those players that playing your role was going to be what's best for the team. And the one example we always bring up, because it's a great one, is Alexander Steen. Steener, you've had a great career. You've got plenty left in the tank. You're best suited right now on that fourth line. And then they wind up starting games in the playoffs and shutting down opponents' number one lines. It's not necessarily about the role. It's about what you bring to the team. This is what you're going to forget fourth line, third pairing, all that stuff. Here's what you are going to do for us so that we can win. And if everybody starts to buy in, to use the Ken Hitchcock, phrase, then you've got a team. But if you don't have a strong leadership group, if you don't have a strong head coach with a clear vision for how he wants to win games, that's when things can go sideways. I think that they have the right guy in place in Drew Bannister. We saw that he's somebody that's going to hold the players accountable. I think that he's going to work wonders with these young players and the veterans.
And I think that, I don't know, I wasn't on the phone calls, but I think there was definitely a long conversation between Alex Steen and Ryan Suter. And I think it was right along the lines of probably what you said. Here's our expectations for a 39-year-old defenseman. If you can outkick your coverage and play up higher or do more for us, great.
Right.
Then we'll deal with that at the time. But right now, this is where you slot in on this team, and you can be a huge part of this team if you embrace that role. And by the sounds of what Ryan Suter's saying, at least for now, is he's embracing that role of being that good, solid defenseman, that good mentor for the young kids, and trying to be a leader with the way he plays, because he's not a vocal guy. Mm-hmm. He's not a rah-rah guy in the locker room. He's a guy that goes out there and will block a shot with his face if he has to. He will clear the front of the net. He will lead by example. And if he knows that this is what he's going to do, then it'd be a really nice piece for the Blues.
Yeah, I think it's going to be. I think when you're an older player and you do recognize and understand the role that you have and what is expected of you, it can only add value to your team. And I talked about it yesterday. We talked about it yesterday. Just the amount of competition now that they have on that defenseman for those defensemen. I think that's going to help the team. It's going to push some of those guys that have been here to play harder, play better. Because you got some younger guys and a veteran guy in Suter that's looking to have some time on the ice. So it's going to be. I think it's a good addition. I think all of the additions they have made is going to help this team be better going into next season.
It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Our mic drop theme today. What would the Cardinals have to do at the deadline for you to say it was a win? Could be as high as CD saying, well, they have to basically get 3 studs, 4 studs, maybe even 5 studs.
Then I'll be on board.
Absolutely. That's CD.
Championships.
Hey, that is CD's expectations. He sets the bar high, and we love him for it. Maybe you're, I don't know, maybe a little bit more realistic. What? And you view the trade deadline.
Winning.
Well, okay. You view the trade deadline a little differently. Leave us a mic drop. We're going to be playing those throughout the course of the show. What's trending is next.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. The Cards are back in action tonight, taking on the Chicago Cubs. Sonny Gray will take the mound, going up against Kyle Hendricks. First pitch is at 7:15, and you can watch that game on Apple TV+. We are taking your mic drops today. What would the Cardinals have to do at the trade deadline for you to say it was a win? Leave us a text, send us a mic drop. We'll play those throughout the remainder of the show. But coming up next, we have What's Trending. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
It's time to find out what's going on in the sports world with What's Trending Now. Brought to you by Goodwill. Donate a car and get tickets to the St. Louis Cardinals.
Welcome back to the Fast Lane here on 101 ESPN with Anthony Stalter, Jamie Rivers, and Carey Davis. I'm Andrew Marsh, and it's time for What's Trending. Anthony, I know there's a subject that you absolutely want to get to, but there's one thing that I want to mention before we get to said topic, and that is Paul Skeens. Yesterday, 7 innings pitched, 1 walk, 11 strikeouts, 0 hits, and he was taken out of the game before he even eclipsed the 100 pitch mark. Today, he was named the National League starter for the All-Star game. What are your thoughts on Paul Skeens so far this year as a rookie, and do you agree with him being taken out of the game, having a no-hitter?
No, let the kid pitch. Could be his own. Let the kid pitch. I'm kind of tired of this now.
Yeah.
You guys know, I'm not one of these people that rallies against every single analytic. But at what point do we let baseball pitchers pitch? At what point do we let guys play the game? Go. It's 162 games. You got an injury or something like that? Fine. We'll deal with it. Take the time off. You're struggling. You need a mental break? No problem. I get it. But this, where it's like, well, 120 pitches could ruin him. You don't know that either way. This kid's a moose. And he had an opportunity. We're not talking about a regular season game that he wasn't throwing a no-hitter. He had a no-no. It's history for this kid. It's history for your damn organization. Let him ride. So I know they won the game. I know they're trying to protect him and whatever, but to me, he's a pitcher. Have him pitch.
Was it after 7 innings they took him out?
Yeah.
So a couple things. One, it's ridiculous. He's got 6 outs left to get.
Right.
And the way he's pitching is probably going to make pretty quick work of those guys in that game.
105 pitches could be a no-hitter.
100%. What I don't like about it is if that was Max Scherzer on the bump, the manager's not coming out to take the ball from him.
Right.
He's not. Scherzer might throw a fastball between his eyeballs if he sees him even step out of the dugout. But because it's Paul Skeens and he's a rookie and a young guy, manager comes out, Skeens can't really push back because then he looks like he's selfish. He's only worried about himself.
Correct.
I don't like it. Don't go and take the ball out of the kid's hand. Wait till he gets in trouble. Make sure it's a really bad. Then be like, okay.
Well, if it's one hit, then you take him out.
Yeah, you're right. Let him go till he gets hit.
Go.
And if he doesn't get hit, guess what? There's your answer.
Right.
Well,
I hate it.
I am going to disagree with both of y'all.
Oh, God.
Well, and
This
it
guy-
has nothing to do.
This guy,
Doesn't
back
wanna
in
win.
high school when I used to watch the Cardinals, those guys pitch 180 pitches
they
a
did.
game.
I think
seriously.
Nolan Ryan threw like 235 one year.
And
That's
now
fine.
he's going the other way.
But here's the thing. Derek Shelton, the Pirates manager, after the game, said that Skeens was tired. Like he said he was tired. He was gassed. And so you got a young pitcher. He's 6-0. He's named the NL MVP starter for the All-Star game. He's a superstar. The person that always comes to mind when I hear about pitchers continuing to go in route for a no-hitter is Johan Santana, because I believe after he had that outing where he threw over 100 pitches and got his no-hitter with the Mets.
You mean the fake no-hitter? That was against the Cardinals.
Well, he got a no-hitter. It's in the record books, Anthony. And so he had arm issues after that, correct?
From one game.
I don't know if it's from one game, but I know he had arm issues after that. And so,
How many guys pitch complete games without arm issues?
hey, Jamie, maybe they're tougher. I don't know. But I do know that Derek Shelton said Skeens was gassed. And
I'd
he
send him back out there. No, kid, you're not gassed. No, go show some balls. You're not
Throw
gassed.
one down the middle.
You
As
don't
soon as
want
you
him
give
to,
up
you
a
don't
hit,
want him
I'll
to show
get
any
you out.
balls. He was throwing strikes.
No, I agree.
Yeah, so
It's
no.
baseballs.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You don't want to show balls. Balls would have got him out of the game.
Well,
Strikes.
it gets
is
you a
what
lot
he
of places if you're doing that in the mountains. That's for sure.
This is a lot of places that you don't want to end up.
Correct.
So I didn't have an issue with it. I think it's a case-by-case situation. If the guy is gassed, I don't think this was a numbers thing. I think it was just based off of his performance. He was performing well, but he was tired. So you don't push it.
Yeah, I hate it.
And he still got the win. And he's 6-0. He's
I hate it.
spectacular.
I absolutely
He is
hate every
spectacular.
bit of it. Anthony's right. Until he
Thank you.
gets hit.
come
First time he gets hit, pull him out.
He had 6-0 with a 1.90 ERA.
He could have a no-hitter, too.
That was a 1-0 game. Could you imagine if the Pirates lose that game yesterday?
I don't think they care. No, I'm honest.
Santana was 33.
Why would they care about him?
They care. They care about him. I don't think they care if they lost that damn game. Man.
Santana, when he threw his no-no in 2012, he was 33.
So he was old?
He was
Is that
old.
what you're saying,
He was
Anthony?
old. 33 years
I
old.
think he was old.
How
I think he
old's
was
Skeens,
done
24?
after that, though.
Skeens is 22.
22. Oh, my God.
He was
It's
done.
11 years.
Johan Santana was essentially done after that.
Well, he
You
probably
didn't
was
pitch.
done because he pitched 4,000 innings.
You tired, kid? Go throw one down the middle. I'll take you out after you give up a hit. Mm-hmm. Ground ball. You know, like,
You're not coming
He'd
out.
have threw 125 pitches because he'd have struck 3 guys out. Now he's
Maybe.
really gassed.
No, at some point he would have.
So
He would have stopped nibbling. At some point he would have started just putting it in the strike zone.
it's going to be in the strike zone.
What the hell's the difference between him throwing 120 to 130 in the College World Series and him doing it at the major league level?
It was in July 11th. Who did they play last night? Who was that
Milwaukee.
game?
Milwaukee.
Against Milwaukee.
What's the difference?
It's the College World
Yeah, but
Series.
he's still pitching.
Jamie.
You don't think he's throwing
There
the
is a
same?
huge difference.
Not physically.
Yes, physically.
How?
Adrenaline based on College World Series versus a game in the middle of July.
You don't think the
You have a
College World
no-hitter
Series?
going.
I get it, but I'm talking from a coach's standpoint, like the fact that 130 pitches to win a game
like
in the
it,
College
Carey.
World Series.
I don't
versus
even know who you are anymore.
You are like dead last in the NL Central. They don't care.
What are you talking about?
They're trying to keep the kids safe.
I just disagree. I'd have made him go pitch.
Well,
I would have. Get out of here. Get out of my face. Take the ball and go.
Yep.
And then when it's
Oh, yeah,
time,
when his arm breaks after 3 more pitches,
when it's time for him to say, you know what, I don't want to be here.
he's gone anyways. We don't hang on to anybody good here in Pittsburgh.
What you
You're
talk
not
about?
threatening us. We're going to move on from you anyways.
You're going to leave us? Good luck. We're going to
Just like
trade you
Garrett
first.
Cole, just like Jamison Tyone, we're going to get rid of all of you.
well, the text line thinks that the Pirates manager should be fired. And I'm sure they're happy that Greg Berhalter has been fired as the manager of the United States men's national team. That happened a few days ago. But, Anthony, you seem to be very passionate about this subject. Would you like to continue talking about this very topic like you were talking in the office?
Okay, so for me, I brought this up last week, and I admit. So let's just soccer fan put down the pitchfork here. Okay, just let's just put it
Good
down.
play on words.
Thank you. Put down the pitchfork right by your boots. All right. I'm not criticizing your sport. I want to know why our American National League men's team cannot figure it out. So they fire him. They had this whole process going. They brought in a bunch of young guys. Berhalter was brought back after some controversy, and they cleared his name, blah, 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 blah. They bring him back. This team showed a little bit of promise, and then the Copa Americano, whatever, was a disaster. Okay, so they fire him because a lot of American soccer fans were not happy with this. I don't blame them. But what is the plan then? Because they don't bring in guys, they don't pay guys, they don't pay coaches. So it's not like you can bring in somebody from Europe and say fix us, because they're not going to pay that well. One of the other stipulations, which I don't blame them, But, do you also want to win? They've got to be able to speak English, which I think is even broken English, I think would probably be beneficial for a team if you're speaking to a bunch of Americans.
You can find a coach that speaks English from
I would think
almost
so.
any country in the world.
But are you going to pay him? Are you going to pay this guy? So you fired him. Okay, all right, cool, good. So you're passionate about, you don't like what just happened a couple of weeks ago. Great, neither do I. But you're going to find somebody that's actually going to come in and do something that most, or if not all, American national soccer coaches have not been able to accomplish. What is the plan?
Yeah.
Get our ass kicked constantly.
Again, I'll go back to what I said.
On the men's side.
I'll go back to what I said last week is, although the NFL and NBA or basketball and football, maybe some other sports are the primary target for a lot of the athletes in the United States, I'm at the soccer fields twice a week, and they're filled with kids playing soccer.
The kids love soccer.
They're soccer, high school soccer, college soccer, you name it.
Yeah.
Like, people are playing in the United States. Your program has to be more prominent worldwide if you're the United States of America. You're going to have to maybe take some funding and go and pay a coach, like a real coach. And if it's an international coach that comes in from whatever country, whatever league he's in, you pay him. You're going to have to. You can't tell me there isn't a company out there that the CEO is not a huge soccer fan,
right,
that he wouldn't throw, let's just say Jeff Bezos, huge soccer fan.
Yeah.
And he's like, you know what? Here, Team USA, I'm going to give you a grant or a scholarship or a donation of $10 million. Mm-hmm. Go find a coach for the next 2
make
years.
this work.
Go make this work. And if you need more, call me. Mm-hmm. Like that kind of thing. Like, there are people that have that kind of money available. We know because NIL exists.
Seriously.
I'm dead serious.
Yeah.
If you can throw all of that money at a college, why can't you throw that money at the national soccer program? Mm-hmm. And you can say, well, people like college football more. Okay, but there's former soccer players that are really rich, too, that run their companies that would love to see the U.S. get back to being, or start being, a big dog in the dog park. Mm-hmm. I don't know why it hasn't happened yet. I don't know what the plan will be moving forward.
Is there got a text, and I'm going to kind of piggyback off of it from 563. For a foreign coach, for a coach that's not from America to come here and coach, does it matter that soccer in the rest of the world is more important than it is here? Like the need for soccer here is not like other countries. Like, we have a passion for it, but it's not the number one sport in America. And so in other countries, it is the number one sport. So the appeal, the draw, the amount of eyeballs that are watching your national team is going to be greater elsewhere than it will here, because football
until you win here, though. Look what happened with the women's team. Look what happened with the women.
I still think it's going to be greater, more people watching in other countries, those specific things.
It's fine. And there's more people in Canada that watch hockey on Saturday night than it is what it is, right?
Right.
But look what happened with the women's soccer team. When they became dominant and they won, people watched them play. Wherever they went to play, people showed up. People watched it on TV. Like, so for the men's program, I think the focus should be less on what it is worldwide and other places. How about just build a program that any country wants to watch that team play? Because I watch teams play sometimes on TV that, especially when the World Cup is on, I absolutely want to watch countries like England, Brazil, Argentina. Those are like, I'm not missing those games. Right. Why? Because they play good soccer. I don't know any of the players.
Right.
Don't know the coach.
They score goals.
But no, they even sometimes it's 1-1, 2-1, whatever. But they're good soccer games. They're good soccer programs. So I want to watch them. So I think if the U.S. can create at least a good soccer program, I think it's irrelevant what Argentina thinks or how much they watch soccer on TV over there. You will start to draw more attention in the United States for your sport if you're a winning team, if you're a competitive team with some of the big boys.
I don't think that necessarily. I understand your point from an entertainment standpoint, maybe like everybody watching it, but I don't see how that's the missing ingredient here between these other countries.
I'm saying for a coach to want to take the job.
Oh.
Well, but think about that. How much clout would you have as a coach? You're taking over this disaster of a program.
Yeah.
And then 4 years from now in the World Cup, you're competing.
Right.
It'd be awesome.
You're Joe Burrow, and you finally got the Bengals, back
yeah.
to the Super Bowl.
All of a sudden, everybody worldwide is going to be talking about what that coach is
Right.
doing. How
Yeah.
come the United States matters now in soccer?
Right. And look at this one guy, this
Yeah.
genius.
It all started
who
with this
figured it
guy.
out. Yeah. It's Fast on 101 ESPN. Speaking of NIL, which is something Jamie just brought up, is NIL ruining the ethics of college football? One of the college football coaches shared a story about NIL that I think a lot of people will find to be just ridiculous. It's next on 101 ESPN.
Braden had the same kind of offers. If you have enough evidence, you can prove it, but smoking gun. He said guy from Kansas State called him, offered him $600,000 because they lost their quarterback, and if he got in the portal. But I'm not accusing Kansas State of anything. I'm just telling you what the kid told me. And so if they don't want their name thrown in it, I think they should probably get a handle on their people. But there's a lot of that going on in college football, and that's just the way things are right now.
So that was Jay Norville from Colorado State. Jay, there was a lot of Jay made himself a name last year when Colorado State played Colorado.
Oh gosh!
And Jay Norville, he was slinging some verbal stuff at Dion and his
sunglasses.
Yeah,
like that. And every player wore sunglasses to the game.
Honestly, though, I didn't like when the one kid took the cheap shot on Travis Hunter on the sidelines. That
was inevitable.
He actually did apologize, and they kind of got together. It was a cheap shot.
Awesome.
No, it was. That was a shot.
A couple feet out of bounds.
I'll remember
Travis
that.
Had to go to the
as long
to
as
the
I
hospital.
apologize, it's okay.
No. It's not okay, because if you hit me or one of my teammates like that, I'd probably get kicked out of the game.
You're going down.
Yeah, I'm gonna take him out.
Anyways, a lot of people remember Jay Norville from that situation. So that was him talking about his quarterback being offered $600,000 from Kansas State's program to join the transfer portal. Now, Carey, when you heard this, your first reaction was?
This is life. This is what happens.
Well, didn't you say, though, that that isn't allowed?
It's not allowed, but Kansas State, there's plausible deniability. No coach from Kansas State, I'm sure, if they have any common sense, reached out to this player. They had someone else reach out and threw a number. And then if that number comes out, it's like, I don't know where you got that from.
Right.
But it does happen. It happens all the time where players are approached by former teammates on other teams or friends on other teams that they may know and say, hey, see if this guy wants to get in the portal. This is how it goes down, and they start kind of backdooring ways to figure out how they're going to get to the other school and how much money they're going to receive. It is a dirty business. I think the only difference now is 20 years ago, same things were happening.
Oh, yeah.
That people were getting paid money, but it was not out in the open. It was illegal, but people were still getting paid. So it's no different, and it's unfortunate for the FCS schools because every year they're going to lose their players to the FBS schools. It's just part of the natural, progression for college sports right now. If you are a Power 5, Power 4 conference, you're going to lose your players. You're going to gain players from the Group of 5. The Group of 5 coaches, which is Colorado State, they're going to lose their best players to Power 5 or Power 4 schools now. And so it comes with the territory. It's hard because when you talk to college coaches, no matter what level they're at, they are always recruiting. They're on the road recruiting high school players. They're on the road recruiting, transfer portal players. They're on the road, and they're recruiting their own players for their own team, trying to make sure that they don't leave.
Yeah.
Trying to make sure that they stay in-house. This is not Coach Norville, God love him. You got to get over it because this is what's going to happen. If you have a good player and you are not one of the top teams in the country, in the SEC, in the Big Ten, in any of those conferences, you're going to probably start losing your players to better teams in your conference or to those other teams. So it comes with it. It's nothing you can do about it. It is illegal, but crying and complaining and bringing it to the forefront, all Kansas State is going to do is say, I don't know what he's talking about.
Yeah.
We haven't reached out to a player yet at all.
Yeah.
Because they won't. But they will.
So Marsh asked the question, is NIL ruining the ethics of college football? I'm of the belief that, one, a lot of this was going on behind closed doors. At least now you're paying kids to market, a product for you at the least. The transfer portal has become a bit of the wild, wild west. I don't think it has ruined anything. And I actually think there will be, at some point, I think there might be more rules that are put in place. But at least it's not what it was before, where a lot of the handshake deals were going on behind the scenes, especially on the recruiting trail. We didn't know about it until there was a big scandal, and college athletes were being punished for putting their Herbie Hancock down on a piece of paper.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I was going to say, I think it
or
has.
Seeing their college jerseys in the team store
not getting paid.
and not making a dime off it.
Frustrating. but I think it has helped college sports. I think it has helped the players. I think it has corrected a lot of. It has made it a professional sport. Like it is a business, and as a college player, you have to know that you are a business, and you have to take care of your personal entity and to make sure that you're okay and going to have success. I think it has corrected some things because now, if a player goes Division II, Cody Schrader, he can go Division I, earn a scholarship, and not have to sit out a year, not have to wait. And it corrects itself. So you start off at a lower level, and now you work your way up. You can become a starter at Mizzou like Cody Schrader did. It helps for those players that are at lower levels, but it also, again, it is a business. And as a young person, especially football, as a young man, you have to understand the business side of it. If you're not taking care of your business, they're going to be trying to force you into the transfer portal. Hey, we need your spot. We don't want you here anymore. You got to go. And so you have to work hard, do what you need to do in class, and take care of your business on and off the field. Otherwise, you could be looking for a new home because they're trying to replace you.
So at what point does some of this become above board? And what I mean is, never mind the situation that we're just talking about. Let's just use it as an example. Look, you got a quarterback who had a good year playing for a lesser team. He had a banner year. Mm-hmm. What's to stop him and his agent or his representative from just starting to use a third party to go kick the tires on a few schools that they know? And then you're starting this bidding war, and nobody actually knows if any of it's true because nobody's actually allowed to put it on paper or to put it in front of you. And you could have kids now that are just abusing the system where they've like, okay, let's say it's Oklahoma and Arkansas, just two teams that popped in my head. And the player goes to both those teams, says to Oklahoma, by the way, I'm about to hit the transfer portal. Arkansas is interested too. They've offered me $400,000. Mm-hmm. How far are you guys willing to go? Well, we'll go 500. And you start this bidding war. It's all fictitious.
Yeah.
It's literally because you can't fact check it at all, which means it's dangerous for the player too, because then if the schools do that in reverse, say we'll offer you this, we'll offer you that. None of it is on paper or signed off on you because you're not allowed to because it's illegal. So then the player gets there and they say, "Well, we said you could get to that number eventually."
Right.
You know what I mean?
We said you could do it.
Yeah. Or I don't know. I think the NCAA has to find a way that all of it becomes above board, somehow.
Yeah, I mean, there are things like that happen. If you're a player and you're getting paid $100,000 and another school is paying people $350,000, you might want to go get that type of money if you can get it.
Of course.
There's a player from a quarterback that was going to Florida that is suing the University of Florida because the NIL that was promised to him was not actually going to be what he thought it was going to be.
Exactly.
That's
exactly what I'm saying.
It's going to happen. It does happen.
What if the NCAA made a rule that, like, each year there's certain positions that are garner more? So skill position, let's just call it that. Skill positions for your college players. And it's almost like not a raffle or lottery, I don't know what the word would be, but you have like 4 or 5 teams that are able after every season to try and bid on a player. But wait, hear me out. So is the team that owns his rights. They're allowed to put a bid in as well with their NIL money.
Well, then that's almost like you're under contract if you're a player because I can go wherever the hell I want to go. But we don't have a contract.
That's what I'm saying. He can still do that. But at least the school then where he's playing has a chance to retain him.
But that would be a contract. That would be saying I have to stay.
But you don't have to. You have the other options in this little proposal I'm talking about. You have 4 or 5 teams. All 5 teams can put in an offer, and the player's free to choose.
Gotcha.
Whatever, but at least one of the offers has to come from the team he's currently on. So it gives some of these teams a chance to retain their players.
They have the money to be able to do that.
But if they can't, Carey, then they can't hang on to it.
But
some schools might say, "Hey, guess what? You know what? I know a guy who's got a big company.
But that's essentially what does happen. Hey,
but it's not above board. I'm talking about
Miami's going to offer me $500K, coach. What are you?
Not going to work.
These are the conversations that they have.
They have to be submitted in.
I have talked to college coaches. This kid wants
about
X number of dollars. Yeah, such and such is offering me $500,000. What are you going to do?
Yeah, but I'm trying to take that out of it, Carey. With what I'm saying is teams who are officially interested have to submit a real offer above board. NCAA looks and they're held to that agreement.
I agree. I think that would be
That's
better.
What I'm talking about. Now everything at least is like right out there. You can see it.
Yeah.
And the school then can at least try to hang on to their players.
All right, the lineup is out, so we'll play the lineup game next on 101 ESPN. 3:06, your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. Cardinals, Cubs tonight, Apple TV. Cardinals will send Sonny Gray to the mound. The Cubs will open up with Kyle Hendricks. 7:15 first pitch. Kyle Hendricks, a right-hander. Time to play a lineup game, boys. You ready?
Born ready.
All right, Carey, lead us off.
Show us Mason Wynn.
I'm watching the Futures game, and this thing's all over Instagram. It's like, this guy threw a ball 100 across the. That's awesome, but like, how many throwing errors does he have?
Shut up.
All right, 1 for 1.
I think you got to go back to Burleson here.
I think so as well. Now,
think
Burleson was not in the 2-hole 2 days ago.
I know, and look what happened.
And they got drummed. Actually, no, he was. He was for game 2, was it?
Game 1.
Game
Game 2,
one.
they went with the
Okay.
wacky lineup.
Yeah.
That's right. Game 2 was Wilson Contreras here.
Yeah.
But no, you're right. Go for it.
I think it's Big Burley. Show us Alec Burleson.
You know, kind of closed my eyes and swung at it and did what I wanted to do.
Burley to the rescue!
All right, so this then should be Wilson Contreras.
I would imagine.
Show us Wilson Contreras.
DH.
No.
Catches mid. Check.
So we got our catcher, presumably.
Goldie?
Paul Goldschmidt here.
Yeah.
Goldie. He got a home run the other day. He's
Did.
back, baby.
Touch seats.
We in agreement?
Yeah, go.
Show us Paul Goldschmidt.
Gold. Rich with gold. Gold.
Okay, here's where it gets tricky.
There's first
Because
base.
Arenado's been batting 6th.
This is Donnie.
I think it's Donnie.
Yeah. Should be.
I think it's Brendan Donovan here.
Yeah, we're in agreement. Let's
Okay,
do it.
Go for it.
Go ahead, Gary. You,
Show us Brendan Donovan.
you said Donnie first.
Donnie.
Hey, this headband's pretty cool.
No, go
If
ahead.
I may.
Anthony. Yep.
Marshy, will you please show us?
He's a Gold Glove winner and perennial All-Star.
Oh, listen to Mr. Gold Glove over here.
Come on.
All right,
Okay.
so we need now a second baseman, a center fielder, right fielder, and a DH.
Or a catcher.
Or a catcher.
I think Wilson is catching today. I think you roll out your best lineup. So
Okay.
Gorman is here. I think Siani is somewhere. Well, not here.
I think
Newt
Gorman, Siani.
I do agree with that. I think
okay.
Newt right here.
You do it.
Yeah, you do it.
Show us Lars Newtbar.
What makes you think she's a witch?
Well, she turned me into a newt.
A newt.
We got better.
Gary?
Show us Nolan Gorman.
Get your fresh organic popcorn.
Get your popcorn ready.
All right, so we think this would be Siani.
It should be. It is. It is.
And last but not least, please show us the one and only Michael Superbad Siani.
Michael.
Nice.
Yes!
Yeah, boys.
You're not Michael Phelps.
Nice.
Michael Cera.
Hey, see? Can you imagine, Carey, if we'd have been taken out of the game after 7 players?
If I was tired, then,
I would have made you get through it anyways.
Yeah, you would have. Nice job, guys. Marsh, go ahead and run that.
All right, leading off the shortstop, Mason Wynn. Batting second, DH, Alec Burleson. Batting third, catching Wilson Contreras. Your cleanup hitter, first baseman, Paul Goldschmidt. Batting fifth, left fielder, Brendan Donovan. Batting sixth, third baseman, Arenado. Batting seventh in right field, Lars Taylor Tatsui Newtbar. Batting eighth, second baseman, Nolan Gorman. And batting ninth, the center fielder, Michael Siani.
Go foul, go foul!
I don't believe what I just saw.
Home run.
Thank you, Gator. Gator with a shout out from the Snake Pit.
Yes,
Good job,
thank you, Gator.
fellas.
Waterboy said, lineup game, you guys got it today. I'm saying perfect lineup. I believe in
Oh,
you.
nice
That's a
job.
301.
Waterboy say that?
That's a 301.
Okay.
Nice. Thank
So
you, Waterboy.
you with a nice prediction there too, Waterboy.
Yeah.
Well done.
Well done.
All right, Marsh. What's our latest standings in the home run derby?
Did anybody, did Burleson hit a home run in that second
No.
game?
No, he hit it.
Did not. It was the first game. So, unfortunately for Jamie, he did not get Alec Burleson in that second game. So, nothing has really changed here. Jamie's leading us right now. 15 points for Jamie. I'm still at 13. Anthony, you're at 7. And Carey's at 5.
Looking for your Piddles predicts.
Don't worry about my piddles. Somewhere else for piddles, okay, buddy? All right, I'm going with Alec Burleson. That's my guy.
He didn't give you a sheet, did he?
He just told him.
Yeah. No.
Maybe we changed up our form of communication based on the fact that there's sticky fingers and eyeballs everywhere.
If I find it laying around,
they won't find it nowhere.
Copy of it and sit it on everybody's computer.
It was on my phone, but I smashed the phone.
Okay, Tom.
Tom Brady style.
Tom.
I'm going with Wilson Contreras, the former Cub.
Against the current Cub, Kyle Hendricks. Let's see here. Anybody got any decent stats against this fool? Matt Carpenter with 3 home runs against him.
Oh, a 10-pointer.
And so does Nolan Arenado. Well, I'll take.
Oh, man.
I'll take Nolan.
I'm not liking this game very much. Okay, give me Donnie a 2 or a 3.
He-
2?
He's a 3.
Oh, I think he's a 3.
He is a 3.
Yeah.
Is he a 3?
Your first home run was
it?
Donovan.
I got off a good start.
And
Yeah.
my home run to get past Carey was also a Donovan.
Okay,
And
well,
Rick
give
Wood.
me Brendan Donovan then. I can try to start chopping wood, catch
There
up.
you go.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. You have to throw the Hail Mary in the third quarter.
I did the other
did.
night.
I know.
Matt Carpenter didn't come through for me.
No, he did not.
That's his fault, not yours.
It is.
Very true. He had his
better.
opportunity.
Play better.
Could have been a hero for you.
Could have been.
A 0.
All right. So earlier in the show, we asked for your mic drops. What would the Cardinals have to do at the deadline for you to say that it's a win? We'll play your mic drops next on 101 ESPN.
I'm packaging Newt Bar with a low-level prospect to get my number 2. And then I'd probably have to package Herrera and Carlson to get my right-handed bat. That way it opens up a spot in the outfield. Donovan can go to second. You can DH Gorman. And that way Burleson gets every day at bats. And if that doesn't work, just call up Scott Hatterberg. I'm sure he's just sitting on the couch somewhere.
Yeah.
You don't want.
Well, Hatterberg could get it done for you. He's done it before.
Playing first base, right?
Yeah.
It's easy to play first base, right? It's not that easy.
Our guy Rafe is outside the studios here.
He's trying to make
looks.
Sure. He's scoping.
Yeah.
He'll
get
revving up.
his by the end of the month at our home run derby. Scott Hatterberg. That's a good call.
I don't know. I think he's like 50 now.
Yeah, no, it's not going to work. That was Alex who left us a mic drop. Thank you. Alex sent in his mic drop talking about what would be a win. I think Alex was a little light with his trade package for number 2. I'm just saying, we don't know ultimately, right? Because I don't want to start busting on people because we don't know what it's going to take. But I do know, I don't know what it's actually going to take for somebody like, I don't know, what Alex would consider to be a number 2, or what it exactly takes to get Garrett Crochet. I do know after observing countless deadlines that we are often short when it comes to what we think it's going to take to get somebody significant. For example, you guys had thrown out there, Carey, you specifically said, go get an ace, go get a right-handed power bat.
I got the names for you now.
Who do you got?
Garrett Crochet and Luis Robert.
Okay, so then Jamie said, hey, talk to the White Sox.
We talked. Yeah.
I think a package of that magnitude, the first 2 names that are going to Chicago, without any shadow of a doubt, would be Jordan Walker and Tink Hence.
You can't have Tink.
It'll be Jordan Walker and Tink Hence. You are getting a cost-controlled ace and a power bat. They're better off if you're not going to give them a package that consists of Jordan Walker and Tink Hence. They might as well separate the 2 and sell them off individually. You would get more individually. You'd get the top prospect from the Cardinals for Crochet, and the top prospect from whoever for Luis Robert. So I don't think that we're underselling what it would take to get 2 studs like that.
So where I go with my brain right now is I don't disagree. But the reason I go off a little bit here is how far has Lars Nootbaar fallen? Because he was the main piece in the trade with the A's for Sean Murphy. He was the deal breaker that John Mozeliak wouldn't part with for Sean Murphy. And the A's said flat out, Nootbaar has to be in the deal for this to work.
Sure.
But how far has that fallen or changed now? Because originally, a year ago, I think Alex's deal is not that bad. But a year later, where we are today, is the value still out there for Nootbaar? Or are people just like, yeah?
I wouldn't think that it'd be as high as it was coming off the year that he had, or the half season that he had.
That's kind of what I'm saying. And that's for a lot of your players right now.
Yeah.
Like Tommy Edman, before the wrist surgery and before the injury, probably value pretty high. Gold Glover at second, finished in the Gold Glove top 3 for shortstop, center fielder, he probably Gold Glove caliber. It's pretty attractive. That's pretty good. Switch hitting guy at the plate. Doesn't matter. Not a lot of power from the left, but still.
Yeah.
But where is he at now? The value for him is, if you throw him in.
Right. Yeah, it's gonna be tough, man. It's gonna be tough to move those 2 guys and get what you hope to get in return.
I think with Newt, where he is now is when you're often injured, it kind of changes a team's perception of you or in people's perception of you. If you're not able to play, and when he's healthy, I think he's a very good baseball player. But when he's not, when he's on the IL and you're waiting for him to come back around, I think that leaves a sour taste in people's mouths. And so now you may be looking and say, you don't want to get rid of him, but if you were to part with him, it probably wouldn't feel as bad as it did maybe a year or 2 ago.
All right, let's hear from Philip next. Again, we're posing the question today, what would the Cardinals have to do at the trade deadline for you to say that it was a win?
For it to be a winning deadline for me, you got to get a starter, number 1 or number 2, and you got to get the right-hand bat that could play, pretty much every day. And it's a pipe dream. I don't see it happening. But the 2 players that I wouldn't mind seeing is Christian Walker and Zach Gallen.
That would be another deal that would consist of you sending Jordan Walker and Tink Hence, among others, to the Arizona Diamondbacks. You're talking about a bona fide power bat in Christian Walker, a first baseman, and an ace in Zach Gallen. You're talking about giving up a trade package of at least 5 players, if not more, and several of your top prospects. And if you're balking at that, you will never get Christian Walker or Zach Gallen.
You raised your hand like you were about to say something.
No, I crumpled my paper, and I wasn't happy that I put a crease in it.
Oh, okay. Christian Walker, first baseman, probably too old. No, thank you.
And
he's not too old.
The team's,
He's 33.
The team's 500 right now, and they are a game out of the wild card.
And if I'm trading Walker and Tink Hence and whoever, I'm not going to get aging players.
Yeah.
I'm going to get other cost-controlled players, maybe further along in the process. But yeah.
An ace is going to cost you.
By the way, Cardinals have made a roster move.
Yeah.
They activated Ivan Herrera from the 10-day IL, and he has been optioned to Memphis. So what does that tell us?
That tells us that they're happy with the current arrangement of Wilson Contreras and Pedro Paez. And for now, well, here's the other thing, too. When they have call-ups later on in the year, they'll have him.
I understand, but right now, every day we're talking about this right-handed bat.
Well, you see, I'm not. And Jamie, I know what you're saying because the Cardinals, John Mozeliak has said it. Looking for a right-handed bat, off the bench, blah, blah, blah. I don't care about that. For me, it would be because Marsh asked a good question to us in the break, and maybe we'll dive into this a little bit later on. Maybe we'll have it as the biggest question of the day or something. But Marsh said, if this is your best lineup, the one we have today, Mason Wynn, Alec Burleson, Wilson Contreras, Paul Goldschmidt, Brendan Donovan, Nolan Arenado, Lars Nootbaar, Nolan Gorman, and Michael Ciani. If that's your best lineup right now, offensively, defensively, are you okay with that? For me, yes. I don't think it's great. I'm not going to the post with this and saying, hey, this is one of the best lineups in baseball, but this is more than suitable to win the division, get you into the postseason.
To win the division?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
So adding a right-handed bat, I don't know if it's necessary. For me, and I haven't answered this question yet, for me, it'd be getting a starter and getting another high-leverage reliever. Getting another starter, getting another high-leverage reliever. Let's hear from Dominic next.
I think an ideal trade deadline for me would be finding someone like Jordan Montgomery who is undervalued and could potentially outperform to a number 2 starter. I don't think you're going to give up the goods for a number 1 or true number 2, so you got to find that diamond in the rough. And you do that by using guys like Dylan Carlson, Tommy Edman, Ivan Herrera, who at this point are kind of deemed excess and you can live without. Plus, you got a whole host of prospects, Prado, you got pitchers. You really can just do whatever you want with those prospects as long as it's not like Sajay, Jordan Walker, or Tink Hence. But other than that, use those guys to get a guy who can be undervalued and perform over a number 3 spot. And then also you can make a random trade for any bullpen arm and you just find, again, diamond in the rough on a bullpen arm, take a chance. And then your right-handed power, it should be Jordan Walker. It should be him. I want to give him the lane to do that in August, September, October.
So when he says Thomas Sajay, I don't agree with that because I think you trade from a position of depth. Thomas Sajay is probably blocked for a while. Mm-hmm. Shortstop, second baseman, where is he going to play? Like here, you're probably not. So the best thing you can do is hope he continues to perform well, does a great job, and then you can trade him and get something back for him. He's a young guy, you prospect, somebody that other teams may look at and need in that position. When you got a position of depth and you got a lot of guys blocking that person, that to me is a position you trade from and try to get something in return for. Mm-hmm. So that would be my my suggestion, if teams were interested in him, okay, let's talk about it. Because I don't know when he's ever going to break the big league roster because where? You got Mason Wynn. Your shortstop, Mason Wynn, is there for hopefully the next 10, 12 years and longer.
Yeah.
So we got to figure something out there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I agree with that. I don't want them to just trade from a standpoint. I'm not saying you're saying the CD, but I don't want them to just trade from a standpoint of strength. Hey, we got enough of these guys. Let's get a fourth starter, and that fourth starter winds up being somebody that is no better than Lance Lynn. To me, I have to improve above Lance Lynn, because if Lynn can slide to 5, I don't care how the guy pitches. Let me rephrase. If I can slide Lance Lynn to 5 and he's inconsistent like he has been, it doesn't hurt me as much as when he pitches every 4 days. And I know that if I do make a deep run in the postseason, I'm not saying it's realistic or otherwise. I'm just saying if I do, I want to make sure that Lance Lynn is off my postseason roster. That is what the deadline is to me.
Yeah.
As well as adding a reliever.
I think Dominic's spot on. This is something that the Cardinals continue to show us year in and year out, that they try and go out and find those diamond in the rough type of guys.
Yes.
And this team, I keep saying it, I don't think they're good enough to just go out and make a big splash and win the World Series. That is for teams that are the upper echelon of the National League. You say it all the time that the deadline is not to make your team, you're not to fill holes, essentially, right? Like, you should do that in the off season.
Yes. You're adding. You're going over the top.
You're going over the top because you believe that this team is a World Series winner.
Yes.
It could be. This team is not right now. Mm-hmm. They're not. I don't think adding a right-handed bat is going to change that.
Yeah, to me, the deadline. Sorry, Marsh, go ahead.
But like adding a number 2 pitcher, yes, that's great. But then what? We're probably going to talk about their margin of victory. They're not scoring enough. Do you think one right-handed bat is going to change that out of the list of guys that are available? Right. I don't think so.
No, I agree. I think the deadline is about it. Like, if you had a situation like you had a couple of years ago where the Cardinals were not really in the postseason mix, and they added John Lester and they added Jay Happ because they didn't want to burn through their young guys.
Yes,
that's different, right? Like, that's like, hey, let's just kind of make sure that we don't crush our youth. And they wound up going on that long winning streak and got in and all that, but. To me, the deadline is about, we're going for the knockout punch. Mm-hmm. We're in position. We have jabbed you and jabbed you and jabbed you, and now we're going to go for the knockout punch. The Cardinals have not been jabbing. They have been defending, and they have held their ground. They took a couple of big shots in April. They have regrouped. There's been a couple of counter punches, but otherwise they're defending. They're Floyd Mayweather here. If you're the Dodgers, I'm going for the haymaker every time. I'm in position. I'm adding the guy that they're like, where is he going to play? We'll figure it out. Phillies, I'm going for the knockout punch. There's no reason for the Cardinals to go for the knockout punch, swing, get knocked in the temple, then they can't fight for the next 3 years, i.e. they give up a lot of their prospects.
And then we're talking about this 2-3 years from now, the same conversation. How come the Cardinals can't develop these guys? Well, right. They don't have anybody
they're playing
now.
For everybody else.
Yes.
Yeah. Marsh, you and I get it. I wish everybody else would get it. It's a fast lane on 101 ESPN. When do personal coaches become a problem? Greg Amsinger said something interesting on the opening drive yesterday about Jordan Walker that caught our attention. We'll hear from him. We'll let you hear from him, and then we'll talk about that conversation next on 101 ESPN.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The Cardinals back in action tonight, taking on the Chicago Cubs. Sonny Gray on the mound, going up against Kyle Hendricks. First pitch is at 7:15. You can watch tonight's game on Apple TV. We're also taking your mic drops. What would the Cardinals have to do at the deadline for you to say it was a win? We just played a few of those mic drops. If you missed any of those, or you want to continue sending in your mic drops, do so. And you can go back and listen to the podcast as well on the 101 ESPN website and on the free 101 mobile app. Just head to the podcast page and you'll find all of our full shows there. And it's all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. When do personal coaches become a problem? We're going to dive into that next right here in the Fast Lane. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, an independent American standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Greg Amsinger of the MLB Network joins the opening drive each and every week during the baseball season. We talked a little bit about Jordan Walker yesterday and some comments that he made, Greg Amsinger made about Jordan Walker. But there was another thing that we didn't touch upon that was kind of interesting. It's about personal coaches. So here's Greg. This clip is a little bit long, but it's excellent. And then we'll talk about it on the other side.
How much of a problem, and I will classify it as a problem, is it when young players are going back to the individualized training and the coach they had when they were 8, 9, 10, or 18, 19 years old, and they don't even listen to their major league coaches? Do you think that's a big problem?
It's the biggest mess in baseball right now, Randy. It is. And I can understand both sides of it. I've heard Harold Reynolds say that Ken Griffey Jr. had to go talk to his dad whenever he'd go through a slump. Everyone was told to leave him alone, and he would go talk to his dad. Okay, I get it. It works for one of the 30 greatest players in the history of baseball. Okay, I get that. But Tim Lincecum won back-to-back Cy Youngs, right? Or 2 Cy Youngs. And his dad was his pitching coach. And when he would struggle, they'd bring his dad into the clubhouse. It annoyed everybody within the San Francisco Giants organization, but they did it for Tim Lincecum. But I get it. Tim Lincecum won 2 Cy Youngs. You get treated differently when you reach that level, right? I think the broad stroke, let everybody have Uncle Jim be my personal coach all over Major League Baseball, is an absolute mess. And you've got guys on their own routine, doing their own thing, and that is why we have such a disjointed offensive approach to Major League Baseball games. It doesn't look like teams are trying to manufacture runs, trying to beat the other team offensively. It's a bunch of guys trying to get the best exit velo launch angle in an AB, and that way they can walk home, call whoever their personal coach is, and talk about why they looked good at the plate, regardless if he stranded a runner at third base with 1 out in the 8th inning. It's not about the team. They're not drowning in the team day to day. It's a bunch of individual guys talking to their individual coach. I don't know how you fix it, but I really think this mess started when they allowed iPads in the dugouts.
All right, now you guys have coached at the youth level. You guys have also had to work with, in some capacity, the personal coach. I think there's a difference. I think there's a difference between the personal coach that has a background, history. He's got, the resume to be coaching. And I think there's some guys because of, I don't know who, I think Carey or Jamie, you brought this up before, because nobody could fact check them back in the day. Yeah. To realize they didn't actually play for the Minnesota North Stars. You know what I mean? Like, there's no roster.
Yeah.
And these guys are just trying to make a quick buck, thinking that they can be some personal coaches. However, for you guys, the legit personal coaches, do you think, like Greg is suggesting, there's an issue with these guys from a professional standpoint?
So I think it's weird, right? I think there's different situations for different sports, because I I'm a personal coach for a number of NHLers that come back here.
Including a Stanley Cup
champion. Correct. But what we do on the ice during the summers is not conflicting with anything the team is asking said player to do.
Yeah.
Because I'm working on individual skills within a team game, right?
Mm-hmm.
And, Carey, I'll let you speak to football in a second because I don't know that world.
Yeah.
But in baseball, it's just different because it's completely an individual game that's called a team sport.
Mm-hmm.
So when you have your personal coach, so if I work on, let's say, we work on net front deflections. Matthew and Brady Kachuk love to do that. I shoot 100 pucks, they deflect them. We figure out the best way, how to do it, all this stuff. None of what I'm saying is going to conflict with what the Ottawa Senators or Florida Panthers want from their player.
Right.
None of it.
Mm-hmm.
If I tell him to hold his stick this way and smack the puck that way, that doesn't conflict with Paul Maurice in Florida wanting him to be a good net front presence for the team, for the Florida Panthers. But in baseball, if I'm telling a player to load this way, open up, leg kick, bat stance, also, that is completely changing things. Because the Cardinals may have a batting coach that's trying to work through some things with your player, but the player, because we all have comfort zones, the player goes back to his comfort zone because, well, this guy over here tells me how good I am and how many home runs I can hit. Whereas the mean old Cardinals hitting coach, he doesn't like what I'm doing, so I'm not going to listen to him. I'm going to go back to this guy here who coached me all those years, and I was so good. Yeah, you were a kid in a massive pond of all these other kids that weren't very good, whether it was Little League, whether it was high school, college. Now you're amongst the best. You should probably trust your actual hitting coach. So that's where I feel like different sports have different, not rules, but rules. Because in hockey, the skills coach can help. I get calls from coaches all the time that have players that are back here and say, hey, I would love for you to work with player X, Y, or Z. We noticed this, we noticed that. Can you help us? Yes. Because they know that if I can improve his skills, he'll be better within the team game.
Sure.
So I don't know how it is in football.
In football, I think it's position specific as well. Like if you're a quarterback and you have a certain way that you hold the ball or the way that you release the ball that may not sit well with your coaching staff, that could be problematic if it's taking too long to get out of here. And I know for receivers, there are a lot of receiver coaches that do a lot of work with their receivers, the personal coaches with releases on the line, getting off the line versus jam. Yeah, that's cute. But in real football, you got to get going. Like, you can't spend all that time dancing. And so you have some of that being taught to them. And they're like, it's not real football. Like, you need to get going north with speed and get this guy to move his feet and get him to open his hips. Not dancing and shuffling at the line, taking your time. There's a person trying to sack your quarterback, sir. You got to go. So I think there are aspects of it in that regard. But I think I do agree with you. Baseball is so much more mechanics and how you do different things. If you're a pitcher, where your landing spot is, and maybe it's different from where your pitching coach is telling you versus what the organization's coach is telling you. But it's about what's comfortable. And so I think at the end of the day, for that player has to be comfortable. If you're telling them to do something that's not comfortable, they're not having success, what are you going to do? You're going to go back to what you had success with and what is comfortable. So I think there's a fine line of both parties kind of meeting in the middle and not as an organization just saying you can't listen to him or you can't. Because Kobe Rasmus is the name that comes to mind, right? Yeah. Like his dad. Like I've known this man my entire life. Why the hell would I listen to you? Like, he helped me get here. Yeah. I'm going to trust what he's saying. So
you can trust what he's saying in Toronto.
Yeah, maybe. But at the end of the day, I think that's probably a missed opportunity for the organization and for your personal coach. And you don't want to do this with every player because it'll be too much. But like your superstar players, like if Ken Griffey, it needs to talk to his father, who was also a professional baseball player. Yeah. Ken, you go ahead and listen to Dad. Tell me what he says, and then we'll work from there. It's certain players. The rules are not the same for each player. You do make concessions for certain guys, and you do work with certain guys. Tom Brady had his personal guy in the building every day. I want to listen to him. I'm going to do what he needs to do so that player feels better. So I think it's a case by case situation.
We get a good question here from the text line. It says, but what if the pro coach's approach is wrong? So suggesting that the player thinks that his actual coach is wrong. Here's why I go with that. Because I've had a few situations in the past 10 years of doing what I do to where if a player tells me, my coach wants me to do it this way, but I don't like that, I want to do it this way, can we work on it this way? The very next thing I do is I contact the coach and we get 3 guys on the phone together and we talk about it.
Yeah.
Because, player X is saying that you want him to be opening up his hips this way or turning that way or, what. He doesn't feel comfortable doing that, but why do you want him to do it that way? And you get the coach to talk to you. Well, I think this, and okay, well, how about if we try this? And how about if we work, and then you get the player to jump? Now you have a team of people that are working together. Now, again, to your point, Anthony, it's not like I'm picking up the phone, having played beer league hockey for 7 years, and now I'm calling an NHL coach.
Right.
When I call the NHL coach, they know what I do. They know how long I played.
Yeah.
And so they respect my opinion. They don't always agree. And when they don't agree, then I said, that's fine. Then we'll do it your way.
Yeah.
We're going to work our ass off doing it the coach's way because that's what you got to do right now.
Right.
And we find a way to get from A to B.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's difficult. It is difficult when you have some of these players that, and especially some, not all, of the modern day athletes, they just want to be told they're doing great.
Right.
They just want to be told you're doing really good. No, you're fine. That's fine. Great swing. Really happy with that approach. Really happy with that at bat. Meanwhile, the hitting coach is like, that's terrible.
Yeah.
He'll never be able to play in the majors like that.
Yeah.
So this is where the personal coach becomes a bit of a problem when they're a cheerleader more than a coach.
Yeah. Well said. It's Fastline on 101 at ESPN. Could the Cardinals find sustained success with their current average margin of victory? We'll get into whether or not that is important as it relates to the Cardinals' future. That's next on 101 ESPN. It's the Fast Lane on 101 at ESPN. Can the Cardinals find sustained success with their current average margin of victory? So this has been a topic of conversation here in our show because early on, before the Cardinals started to get things going following Mother's Day, we kept pointing out, me specifically, I'll just take accountability here, I kept pointing out the run differential. Well, the current run differential isn't much better than what it has been in over the last month. It's still minus 38. It's not great. Does it matter, though? So, Jamie, I know that you were looking at some statistics in regard to the run differential and whether or not it matters for how well a team could do over the course of a season. I don't know if you have those numbers in front of you, but I can pull those up.
Go ahead. Yeah, I'm trying to find it. We had it. Here we go.
All right, so Derek Gould.
Go ahead.
All right, so Derek Gould tweeted out, no team with a winning record has scored fewer runs in wins than the Cardinals. Their average margin of victory is 2.46 runs. That's the slimmest in Major League Baseball and cause for even slimmer margin of error. The number's behind the premium on pitching decisions, and then he goes down and he's got, I recommend going to Derek Gould's Twitter post at D Gould if you want kind of more information. But for our broad conversation, how much does the run differential matter? How much does the average margin of victory matter?
To me, the bubble bursts at some point.
Yeah.
It's literally like an NHL team solely relying upon their goaltender. Mm-hmm. Like, it's in theory, you're like, you got a number one, he'll be fine. No, at some point, the bubble bursts. And when it does, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
Because you can only do so much. And so right now, the Cardinals are basically playing with borrowed money, to where they're not scoring enough runs. They're having to pitch excellent. They're having to have a great bullpen. They're having to have great defense to squeak out wins. What happens when they don't have those things? We saw it against the Royals. When one of those elements fails for them,
they lose.
Yeah. And so when I saw this list, Arizona's first in Major League Baseball with a 4.3, which is unbelievable. It's almost double what the Cardinals have for their margin differential.
Which is, so that's interesting. Can I just go down this line? So the Diamondbacks are 47 and 47. So people are going to look at that and say, well, the Cardinals are 4 games above 500. Diamondbacks are only at 500. Yes, but the Diamondbacks have a +6 run differential. Run differential indicates how well where your record's going to be when it's all said and done.
Pretty much.
So as of right now, if you're betting, even though the Cardinals are leading this charge here, the Diamondbacks should finish with a higher run differential.
At some point, the dam breaks.
Yeah,
it's inevitable. And let's just take, for example, let's say Sonny Gray gets in a rut or somebody gets injured, and you don't have some of your best out there, then all of this can start crumbling.
Sure.
And you drop go from being second place in division to fourth in a hurry.
Right.
So I just think that it's an interesting thing, and it goes back to the Michael Ciani conversation about having your best players, your best defensive players in the games. It's not just him. It's Donovan. It's Wynn. It's all of your best defensive players out on the field, because that's how you're winning right now. Mm-hmm. You don't have the offensive power to be winning. So you've got to cross your fingers for good pitching, and you've got to put your best defensive players out there, because that's why you're 5 or 6 games above 500 right now.
That goes into what I've been saying all year, is that just how it feels, especially on the NL side of things. Like, all of these teams are within a 10-game stretch of being the wild card or being third to last in the National League. And that's essentially how it's been all year, which is why I feel at the trade deadline, if you really have desires of making it and pulling yourself away and separating yourself, you got to make a splash decision. You got to make a splash trade and go get a couple of pieces. But for I guess one way you could look at it is, when they lose, they get beat really, really bad. Mm-hmm. Like, they're going to lose by 5, 6, 7, 3. When they win, they're probably going to win by 1, 2. And so maybe that's part of the reason why the run differential is so lopsided. But again, how long is this sustainable? How long can you continue to eke out 1-run wins throughout the entire season, winning 2-1, winning 3-2, when you're going to start playing better teams, hotter teams that hit the ball in the gaps and out of the park, and so they're scoring more runs and you're not having those nights where you're scoring? to me, that's the concern of this St. Louis Cardinals team. I think they have a lot of the elements to be a really good team, but doing it consistently and doing it with, your best players got to show up, man. And if they don't, you're not going to have those 5-run games, 6-run games night after night. You're going to be struggling to score runs and win games at some point.
Bud from the Snake Pit asks, when did Rivers turn into such a negative Nancy?
Negative? What am I negative about?
You basically have said that the bubble's going to burst, and the Cardinals are going to be in third or fourth. That's what Bud here.
Busting.
But I apologize for what you heard. I'm not going to apologize for what I said, because what you heard is completely different than what I said. But Bud, I appreciate your participation.
We need the drop now.
I know about the number.
Yeah, we got to find it.
I don't know if I was negative. I think it's realistic and being honest.
Here's the thing. When you're honest and realistic, that, for some people, feels negative.
Negative?
Because, and I'm not saying that that's what Bud wants.
But what if I say
I think
all of it?
I think Bud was being funny. He was trying to be funny.
What if I say all of it, and when I'm done, I go, LOL?
Then it's okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I like it.
Bud was trying to be funny, though.
Was he?
Yeah.
You know that?
I do.
How?
I know Bud.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Is that neighbor Bud?
Budweiser.
Oh, I know Bud, too.
Bud Light?
No.
No?
Bud Heavy for
Bud
Anthony.
Heavy. Yeah.
Bud Ice.
Bud Select.
Bud Ice.
Bud Ice. Bud Ice. Remember
Did
that?
they even make that?
Clear bottles.
There's no way they even make that anymore.
Bud Ice anymore.
No.
I punished a few of those into submission.
Bud Ice.
The beer tubs. Oh, my.
All right, the Gauntlet is next on 101 ESPN. No project for Mosby Building Arts is too big or too small. So if you're looking at a complete kitchen remodel, for example, great. Call Mosby. They'll send an interior designer out, work with you, design the perfect kitchen to the specimens that you want, show you some ideas that they have when it comes to maximizing your space. If you're redoing a basement, great. Mosby Building Arts, incredible with that as well, because, again, it's a bigger project. They have their own electricians right there in-house, their own plumbers, their own contractor. Everybody's there, so it's not like they're going to be delayed by a contractor not working out or working on a different project. You're going to have your own team. But when it comes to a smaller project, maybe you want to redo your laundry room, or for us at the Stalter House, so we have a patio that we want to redo, or some back doors that we know need to be upgraded. There's no project that's too small for them. Mosby Building Arts, they'll send out that same, you have your same designer that comes out. They'll do the work to perfection. They do a great job when it comes to taking measurements and giving you a price point up front that's fair and honest, so that they're not tacking on things throughout the course of your project. No projects too big or too small for Mosby Building Arts. Give them a call, 314-909-1800, whether it's a big kitchen remodel or something smaller like your laundry room or a new garage door. Mosby Building Arts, they're the perfect company. In fact, they're the right remodeling company. 314-909-1800. Mosby Building Arts, the right remodeling company.
categories, one challenger. Can you survive the Gauntlet?
It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN 404. Your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler, with Andrew Marsh and Carey Davis and Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. We welcome in Mitchell. What's up, Mitchell?
How we doing, gentlemen? Happy Friday.
Thank you.
Happy Friday to you. Absolutely. Now, Mitchell, is this your first time in the Gauntlet?
First time.
All right. Well, welcome in, my friend.
Do you go by Mitch?
Both. I answer both, but Mitchell's my name.
I just wondered.
We'll go Mitchell. That's
I
fine.
just told you in a roundabout way.
No,
I go by Mitchell.
Right.
I was just wondering.
Yeah.
He was
Just
being
wanna make sure
nice.
you know.
He was going with the flow, but look,
He's like,
Mitchell wants to be called Mitchell.
I prefer Mitchell.
Yeah, absolutely.
Carey,
All right.
just stop. Okay.
Sorry.
All right, Mitchell. Who would you like to take on today? Andrew Marsh, Carey Davis, Jamie Rivers, or me?
Carey needs a day off, so I'll take on Jamie.
Thank you. I just defended you and everything.
Mitchell. I appreciate it. Do need a day off.
All right, Mitchell. Good luck.
All right, Jamie's going to make his way into the cone of silence. Mitchell, you're going to tell Andrew Marsh to spin that wheel.
Spin that wheel, boss.
What are we hoping for, Mitchell?
Call me boss.
No matter what people say, the wheel always picks something the opposite, so whatever the wheel decides.
Okay, I like that. You're letting the wheel decide your fate, and that was going to be the case anyways.
You should have said hockey.
Let's go.
Then it wouldn't have been hockey. Because it is hockey.
Okay.
Of course.
Of course. Are you a hockey fan, at least?
Yeah, I played hockey all my life, so why not?
All right, there you go. So as Marsh gives us the launch codes here, we'll just remind you that Mitchell and Jamie, thank you, Marsh. Mitchell and Jamie are going to receive the same 4 questions today, all hockey related. Each question is worth 2 points unless Mitchell or Jamie ask for the options. If they ask for the options, those questions are worth 1 point. Are you ready?
Let's do it.
Okay. I can see Bradford wrote these questions. Hang with me here, Mitchell.
Sure.
Hang with me. Last Tuesday, the Blues signed forward Pavel Buchnevich to a 6-year, $48 million contract extension. On April 17th, 2021, as a Ranger, Buch scored the first hat trick of his career. But who led that New York squad in goals with 24? So who led the Rangers in goals with 24 in the 21 season?
Let's see, is Panarin there? I'll do the options for this one.
All right. Is it Patrick Kane, Mika Zibanejad, or Chris Kreider? Kane, Zibanejad, Kreider.
Let's go with Zibanejad. Final answer.
Question number 2. The Blue Note season opening opponent on October 8th, Seattle, upset which Western Conference powerhouse in the first round of the 2022-23 playoffs?
What year was that you said?
22-23.
Oh, yeah, because they stunk last year. Western Conference. Colorado, maybe? I'll do the options again.
Is it Colorado Avalanche, Vancouver Canucks, or the Dallas Stars?
I'll stick with my... Let's go Vancouver. You said Vancouver?
Yep. Is that your final answer?
Final answer. Yeah.
Question number 3. Happy belated birthday to former Blue Alexei Gusarov. Before finishing his NHL career in St. Louis, Goose served as whose longtime defensive partner with the Avalanche?
Oh, yeah. We'll know this. Options, please.
Is it Rob Blake, Phil Housley, or Adam Foote?
You said Colorado?
Colorado.
I'll go Foote. Final answer.
All right. Last question, Mitchell. Which organization selected Hockey Hall of Famer Pierre Turgeon with the number 1 overall pick in the 1987 NHL Draft?
Dallas Stars. Final answer.
All right, let's bring back Jamie from the Cone of Silence. Mitchell, how you feeling, kid?
I knew I was in trouble when you heard Brad was so we'll see. You never know.
Yeah. Oh, Jamie walking in here with a bit of a strut.
Whoa.
Chest popped out.
No, I'm
How you feel?
a little tired, actually.
All right.
Why?
Okay, all right.
I was trying to fake myself.
Hey, you know what? Hey,
Take
it's
it
all
till you
good.
make it.
Yeah, Carey. Sometimes you got to, you know.
All right, Jamie, your category today.
Wait, whoa. How'd Mitchell do?
Tell him, Marsh.
Pack a lunch.
There you go.
Your category today
Yeah.
is hockey.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Are you going to the mall later?
No, I'm going to Frankie Martin's later, and we got the fair at the St. Joe's Church. It's going to be a great night in Cottleville.
Got it. Question 1. Last Tuesday, the Blues signed forward Pavel Buchnevich to a 6-year, $48 million contract extension. On April 17th, 2021, as a Ranger, Buch scored the first hat trick of his career. But who led that New York squad in goals with 24?
What?
Who led the Rangers
it's
in goals
Bradford,
with
right?
24 in 2021?
In 2021, oh my God, I don't know. I didn't even care about the options because I have no idea. 2021. 24 is not a lot of goals. Is that a shortened season? 21? It must have been.
Yes, it was.
So the options are going to be like Kreider, Zibanejad. I don't think Panarin was there yet. I'll just go with Mika Zibanejad. Final answer. What a question.
What a world.
Ooh. Question number 2. The Blue Notes season opening opponent on October 8th, Seattle, upset which Western Conference powerhouse in the first round of the 2022-23 playoffs?
That would be the Colorado Avalanche. Final answer.
Question number 3. Happy belated birthday to former Blue Alexei Gusarov. Before finishing his NHL career in St. Louis, Goose served as whose longtime defensive partner with the Avalanche?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Actually, I think I can get there with this one. So, Rob Blake, I believe Ray Bork and Rob Blake, Adam Foote. Goose was a left-handed shot. So it makes sense for him to play, in my opinion, with Rob Blake or Adam Foote. Adam Foote played there longer, so I would tend to side with him. My odds are greater by picking Adam Foote. So Adam Foote, final answer.
All right, Jamie, last question for you. Which organization selected Hockey Hall of Famer Pierre Turgeon with the number 1 overall pick in the 1987 NHL Draft?
The Turge! One of the greatest teammates ever, by the way. Nicest guy. You'd love him. A lot of people think he was picked by the Islanders because he was traded there at an early age, but he was absolutely, most definitely picked by the Buffalo Sabres. Final answer.
Thank you, Jamie, and thank you for the history lesson.
Trying to channel my inner Randy.
All right, Mitchell versus Jamie. Let's run through these. Last Tuesday, the Blues signed forward Pavel Buchnevich to a 6-year, $48 million contract extension. On April 17th, 2021, as a Ranger, Buch scored the first hat trick of his career. But who led that New York squad in goals with 24? Mitchell, you said Mika Zibanejad. Jamie, you said the same thing. Correct answer is
Mika Zibanejad.
But Jamie did not need the option, so Jamie's got a 2-1 lead over Mitchell. The Notes season-ending opening, the Notes season opening opponent on October 8th, Seattle upset which Western Conference powerhouse in the first round of the 2022-23 playoffs? Jamie, you said that would be the Colorado Avalanche. Mitchell, you said, I think it's the Avalanche. Let me get those options just in case. And then eventually settled on the Vancouver Canucks. Correct answer is?
It is the Colorado Avalanche.
Mitchell, you had it.
Oh,
you had it, kid.
Tough one.
Happy belated birthday to former Blue Alexei Gusarov. Before finishing his NHL career in St. Louis, Goose served as Who's longtime defensive partner with the Avalanche. Mitchell, you said Adam Foote.
Oh.
Jamie, you said Adam Foote. Correct answer is
Larry's brother, Adam Foote.
I don't think they're related.
Probably not.
You never know.
Jamie did not need the options on that one. Mitchell did. Question 4. Which organization selected a Hockey Hall of Famer, Pierre Turgeon, with the number 1 overall pick in the 1987 NHL draft? Mitchell, without the options, you said the Dallas Stars. Jamie, without the options, you said the Buffalo Sabres. Correct answer is?
It is the Buffalo Sabres.
Yeah, Mitchell.
You have chosen poorly.
You lose.
Mitchell, I'm so sorry, man. It wound up right in his wheelhouse. The scumbag had to take you to the woodshed.
Ran into a buzzsaw.
Yeah, I'm sorry, man. He wasn't even kind about it either. He gave you a history lesson.
Yeah.
He was doing the Randy thing where it's like, in 1987, it was a Tuesday, and
golly.
yeah,
Sorry, man.
I'm sorry, Mitchell.
That's all good.
Yeah,
It's a Friday, Mitchell.
it's
Go
a
enjoy
Friday.
it.
Yeah,
man.
have fun.
No, I think everybody deserves a couple buds, you know?
There you go.
Right,
Yes.
Mitchell. Yes.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about.
There you go.
Good job, Mitchell.
Mitchell, thanks for listening. Thanks for playing.
Hey, I appreciate you boys. Have a good weekend.
You too. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you. Really nice guy. I'm surprised Marsh didn't
no one
beat
picks
him.
me anymore because
That's
every
very true.
one of our listeners are nice and they don't want to
Yeah,
lose.
that's very true. Yeah. Jamie, nice work, man. 8-2. A clean sweep, and you didn't
fell into my
hesitate.
wheelhouse.
It did. Yeah.
The one I
used
wasn't-
the Zabinajad one, or your kind of walked.
And
yourself through.
Gusarov, too. I was like, really? We're going back that far for
But you
Goose?
got there.
I got there, but it was just because I played the odds.
Sure.
But I knew the Buffalo one.
Nice job there.
See
kid.
my face when I was asking that question?
Yeah, you didn't.
I have no idea who that is.
You didn't know who the Goose is.
I don't know. The only Goose I know is from Top Gun.
Oh,
Yeah,
A movie that you still
Your favorite
yet
movie.
to finish.
Goose Gossage.
Yeah, I didn't.
That is true.
Yeah, Goose Gossage, absolutely. Yeah, no, I watched the first 20 minutes. I said, you know what? This isn't what I thought it was going to be. Not what I thought it
You
was
liked
gonna
it
be.
even more.
Yeah,
He did.
Yeah.
He did.
Somebody in the snake pit is now named Sick Blue Heron. Mitchell fell right out of the sky and smoked the curb. At least he was sick. Well done there, Sick Blue Heron. Nice job.
Oh, man.
I'm glad to see you're feeling okay, by the way. That looked pretty bad when you flew right in, didn't nosedive right into the curb and seemingly snapped your neck. Your long neck. All right.
Anthony, you're my hero.
Poor bird. Okay. What would the Cardinals have to do at the deadline for you to say that it was a win? We got more of your mic drops to play those next on 101 ESPN.
order for me to be happy at the deadline, we need two of the following three things. We need someone who can play center field, that can crush left-handed pitching. We need a middle to high leverage arm for our bullpen. And we need a starting pitcher. The higher the quality, the better. And if we can check all three boxes, I will definitely be happy. If we try and use internal options, again, to fill some of these holes, I will be very unhappy with the decisions made at the deadline.
That was Sheldon. We asked for your mic drops. Sheldon provided. What would the Cardinals have to do at the deadline for you to say that it was a win? And Sheldon kind of broke things down. I missed the first thing. He said bullpen option. He said a starter, fourth or fifth starter, I think he said. I missed the first one. Maybe it was a right-handed bat. But Sheldon kind of threw together three things. Do you guys think that it's realistic that they make three trades? Because I don't. I could see them making. If you're setting the number, you're probably setting the number at 2.5, and you're juicing the under big time. Meaning, the odds are going to be heavier if you want to play the under than the over. I think they make two. I think they make deals for two relievers or one reliever and a starter. As we talked about yesterday, the last time they made a trade for a bat was Brandon Moss, and that was in 2016. Mo has not had a lot of... when he's been a buyer, he has not acquired many bats. Not to say he won't this year. But seeing what's available, seeing what he thinks he might need, I do not see them adding a bat.
I just still wonder where the bat plays. Because we just went through one of the tweets or X messages just saying the Cardinals have sent down Herrera because against left-handed pitching, Contreras will catch, or right-handed pitching, Contreras will catch, Burleson will DH, and against left-handed pitching, Contreras will DH, and Pages will catch. Mm-hmm. So you currently don't even know where you can put everybody. You have too many bodies for your lineup right now. Now you don't have the best of every,
which
position.
Really is the worst case scenario.
The worst case scenario.
Like, you're not in love with most of the lineup yet.
Correct. But you're still having trouble right now finding at-bats for everybody. Throw another right-handed at-bat in there. Somebody's got to come out. It ain't going to be Goldie and Arenado, even though everybody, it's good. It's not going to be them, bottom line. It can't be Wynn, Burleson, Contreras, or even Donovan, for that matter. So where are we plugging guys in here?
Mm-hmm. No, I agree. That's why I don't think they acquire a bat either.
I mean, if you're going for a bat that plays center field, you could find a spot for him, couldn't you?
He would have to be really good. Like no, but not just like he'd have to be so good offensively that it replaces the defense that you're getting from another player.
Plus, you're getting Tommy Edman back, so. If they feel that way, I think they would probably just slot Tommy Edman in there.
I think we're doing all of this, and I don't think they're going to do much of anything that is going to be, enticing to the fan base that makes you say, "Oh yeah, that's the one thing." Like a middle reliever, somebody that can come in and fill a role when maybe your starter doesn't have a good day, or get you out of a jam there in the 5th or 6th inning, something like that.
Oh, if they get that, then forget it.
Forget about the season? I agree. I agree with you, Anthony. What you're saying is that they're not going to do anything and they're not going to make it to the playoffs if that's all they do. What you just said is 100% accurate.
Even if they were to get a starter and a reliever, if that reliever was a middle of the rotation or like a middle reliever, get out of here. Like you have more than enough of those guys. If you're making a deal for a reliever, it better be somebody that could pitch in the back end of a game.
You got that guy. You got the guy to finish the game.
I don't necessarily mean a closer.
Right, JoJo and Kittredge, hopefully, they
can never have enough of those guys.
Revitalized over this All-Star break and are ready to roll. I just don't see something. I don't see them doing something that makes them marketably better than where they are right now. Unless it's an ace or a number 2, and that's the one thing we've talked about. But I don't think any of us see that actually happening.
It's not going to be. No, it's not. It's not going to be an ace or number 2.
Is the team better by just going out and getting a guy?
I think you can get better. This is the way I've described it, and you've heard it. Sorry for being redundant, but to me, it is all about improving the starting rotation. Starting with Lynn, I have to get a starter that. If tomorrow the postseason was here and I knew I was playing in a 7-game series and I needed 4 starters, I want that 4th guy to be somebody that I bring in from outside of the organization. To me, I don't want to go into a postseason. And I realize that the series are shorter early on. I'm saying I'm looking beyond that. And if I get into a 7-game series, I'm not rolling with the 4 guys that I have right now. I have got to improve that 4th spot. That's the way I'm looking at the starting rotation. Because to me, if I set my sights there, it's going to help me throughout the end of the season too. It's going to help me hopefully win the division or secure a wild card spot. So there's a trickle down effect, in my opinion. And I'm getting somebody to pitch at the back end of the pen, just in case something happens. To me, you can never have enough of those options. I want to give Ollie Marmol another option besides Kittredge and Jojo Romero and, of course, Ryan
You
Nelson.
have to.
That's where I'm at.
Because the burnout will happen unless
Yes.
you can find guys that mimic exactly what you have, and you can now plug in player A or player B for that situation.
Exactly. Yeah, that's where I'm at. All right, let's hear from Sweet Lou next.
Hey guys, it's Lou. For me personally, for the trade deadline to be considered a win, I want us to get one more solid bullpen arm. Doesn't have to be like, an elite level or anything like that, but maybe just somebody solid that you could go to in the 7th inning other than Andrew Kittredge. I think he's been getting a lot of usage, especially since he missed some time with his I think he had Tommy John surgery. He's out all last year. JoJo's pitched a lot. Maybe just somebody to pitch that 7th inning for you, another option. And then maybe not an elite pitcher. I'm not saying we go out and get Garrett Crochet, because honestly I think he's going to cost way more than he's worth. But maybe a solid starting pitcher, maybe an Eric Fetty. Honestly, if he wants to come to St. Louis and the price is right, I love Max Scherzer, but I'm not going to be upset if they don't get him. But just a pitcher that you could honestly say would be a 2 or a 3. You don't have to necessarily go ace. We have Sonny Gray, but maybe just a solid 2-3 pitcher that you could slot in behind Sonny Gray or behind Sonny Gray and Kyle Gibson. But yeah, that'd be a win for me. Thanks, guys. Have a good rest of your day. Enjoy your weekend.
You too, Lou. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Well thought out. I agree with him when he's talking about adding that back end piece. I'm not going to inquire if I'm going to get a reliever. I'm going to get somebody that can pitch in the back end. Those are the guys that help you win in the postseason, provided that you get some semblance of offense. So save that text on that. I realize that the offense is going to play too. All right, it's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. We got our Sports Six-Pack next. So if you got a question for us, send it into the Air Comfort Service text line. That's 314-399-9646. Sports Six-Pack next.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update. Driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. The Cardinals back in action tonight, taking on the Chicago Cubs. Sonny Gray will take the mound, going up against Kyle Hendricks. First pitch is at 7:15, and you can watch that game on Apple TV. We are taking your mic drops all day long. What would the Cardinals have to do at the deadline for you to say it was a win? Leave us a text, send us a mic drop. We'll play those in the 5 o'clock hour. But we have our Sports Six-Pack coming up next. So leave us a question at the Air Comfort Service text line, 314-399-9646. Sports Six-Pack coming up next. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
Refreshed by the St. Charles Gun Crew. July 14th and 15th at the St. Charles Convention Center. Visit maxshows.com.
It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN with Carey Davis and Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. Andrew Marsh with your questions for the Sports Six-Pack via the Air Comfort Service text line at 314-399-9646.
Question number 1.
From the 636, do you think Mo would go for it before he goes? I probably would personally.
Yeah, I think I would personally too. Do I think he'll do it? No. I think Mo is incredibly reserved. I think he's somebody that is very risk averse. I think that he also, I think that there's certain things that burn. Like, I have no personal knowledge of this, but I wonder if certain things burned him, and he's now extra cautious because of them. The Ozuna trade, giving up Gallen and Sandy Alcantara. The Randy Arozarena trade, in which we don't know if Matthew Liberatore is ever going to be anything more than a solid reliever for you. And I think the other thing that burned him was the Matt Carpenter signing. You know, not this past one, obviously, but the contract extension. I think there's certain times that maybe he doesn't extend somebody when he has an opportunity to. Tyler O'Neill, for example. Yeah. I wonder if the Matt Carpenter deal was like, you know what? If I waited a year, I probably could have save the organization a lot of money and give myself more freedom when it comes to signing players. I think that he's very risk averse. So no, I don't think that he would just say, screw it, I'm going all in. This is my last hurrah. I just don't think his mind works that way. That's my opinion on it.
Wow, yeah, I agree. I thought you were going to go.
Oh, I thought you.
It's usually one, too.
Well, I was kind of back from the mic.
We don't do that. It's very all in.
And you were like closer. You had those lips on the mic, and I was like,
I was just looking for it. Well, no, we often talk about Mo as if it's all his doing. Like, when you talk about going all in, there's a person that he has to talk to prior to said all in, trying to make a trade or whatever that looks like. So I don't know if it's all John Mosey. Like, I do agree with you that some of those trades that took place may have, scared him off a little bit, possibly. But I also think being all in and spending someone else's money means you got to talk to that person to be all in before you can go do that.
I agree.
Jamie wouldn't just let me spend his money. I've asked him, but every time he gives me a funny look.
He's like that, isn't he?
He's tight, right?
Yeah, man.
Can I get
I've been called a lot of things in my life, but I can show you receipts of me not being tight with my money.
I need to be tighter.
Yes. We all do.
Question number 2.
Interesting question here from the 314. You guys are so good at trade evaluations. Tell us, in life, what has been your best or worst trade? We all know Jamie's. What about the rest of you?
So everybody is in
person
on.
Must know me.
So everybody's in on the. Oh. No, what I was thinking of the hotel room. But
oh yeah.
No, now I got it.
Well, maybe that's what they mean. I was thinking something else.
I was too as I was speaking.
Yeah. There's been a couple of good trades I've made.
Yeah.
Ah, man.
Trades. I don't.
Would it be like a decision that you made? Like
Yeah,
you
I'm
trade
assuming-
one decision for the
I
next?
got mine, right? We know what mine is. I traded Michigan for a visit to Northwestern. Right?
That's the worst one.
That might be. Like, you know what? Trade this. I don't need to go there. Traded an opportunity to visit the University of Michigan.
Do you have any
Stay
regrets
an
on
extra
that?
day.
Like we
Hell
joke.
yeah.
Oh, okay. We joke about it,
Hell
but
yeah. They stopped they used to, I no exaggeration, I would get like a handwritten letter every week from the coach. And I would like lick my finger just to see if the ink would smear, just to make sure it was actually handwritten. It was every week. Can't wait to see you in this helmet. Man, this ring's gonna look good on you. Like it was the like a postcard. Like you open it up, had the Michigan, and man, you're gonna enjoy playing in this environment. And after I didn't go, I didn't get those letters anymore, Jamie.
What?
I
mean, he didn't really love you?
I guess
you
not.
weren't part of the family?
He didn't reach out.
Well, I don't know how
anything
much.
could have
I don't know how much
happened,
love
right?
Carey showed.
Yeah,
I didn't
Carey,
show much.
You might have.
What if I was sick?
You did this.
I don't think. Well,
Wouldn't
still
you
you
have
can
called
call.
No, I'm sick.
No call, no show.
Your mom couldn't have called?
Nobody called. She should have called and said, hey, he was sick that day.
Yeah.
She should have called.
And now he's
Not
injured
you.
because I hit him with
Over the
frying
head.
pan.
She almost did. Yeah, that'd probably be it to me.
I don't know if I have a trade.
I think I have one. I right before I ended up getting this particular position here at 101, I was offered a job to be play-by-play for like an NAHL team, and I was thinking about it, and then I was like, it doesn't feel right. Didn't do it. Said no, I'm good, and then like a month later, I got this job.
There you go.
So weird how things
So
like
wait,
that
was that a
happen.
good trade for you or a bad trade?
I think it was a good one.
I would
He
think
didn't
it'd
tell
be good.
us.
Yeah, I think it was a good one.
I mean, he is here
I
with
think
us
it was a
every
good
day.
one. The other one was in Texas, so I don't.
Is
you know.
that team still there?
I have no idea.
Because a lot of those times, those teams in that league specifically, they're there for a year or two, then they're gone.
Wow. Hold up.
And that would be not good.
So I don't have a trade. This organization company said they went with somebody else, but I think I could talk about this. When I was producing this show, when it was Randy, DeMarco, and Dunk, I was also doing a Sunday show for 101 with Tony Softly, and it was all football shows, Pro Football Sunday. We did it during the football season, and some of the powers that be at KMOX heard me, and they reached out and said, hey, you ever think about being on air full time? I said, yep, that's what I want to do full time. Love 101, have no interest in leaving, but yes, I want to pursue on air stuff. So had a series of interviews with them, and I was like, man, I might get what was their like nighttime host. I might get this thing. So I was reaching out to a lot of people from this station that I respect greatly. And I'm like, I don't know if I want to leave 101. And a lot of them are like, hey, you want to be on air? Go be on air. So KMOX hired somebody else for that spot, and they told me like, hey, it was you and this other guy. And this other guy just had more experience than you. And sorry, we wish you the best of luck. We think you're talented, blah, blah, blah. So like a week later, the program director here caught wind of it and had me in his office. I'm like, great. I'm going to wind up with no job. And instead, he paired me with Dunk to do the afternoon show because he's like, if I don't put you on air, somebody will. So it wound up being a good thing. Yeah, it wound up being a good thing, and that wound up kicking off my career. But I didn't choose that, so it wasn't a trade. I just got flat out, I got passed over, which is fine. I respected their decision. And I love a lot of the people at KMOX. They're good people. But I'm thrilled that it happened this way at 101 because I got to stay here, and I've been here for over 10 years now. I mean, 10, 12, 30. I've been extremely fortunate to work here as long as I have.
So for me, apart from the joke ones that we have about me making trades, there was an opportunity for me, several opportunities, but a big opportunity for me to go coach in the NHL. I was offered an assistant coach job. And I was already working here at the time, and the TV thing had not really started. I was doing some of the desk work, but it wasn't like the in-game stuff. It was just going to maybe get started. and I got offered an assistant coach job in the NHL, and it sounds great. They're like, why wouldn't you take that?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I sat back and had to evaluate what's best for me and my family at the time. At the time, marriage was going south. Kids are at impressionable ages. And I remember my career as a player and bouncing around.
Yeah.
And I was like, even if I'm a really good coach, then I have to leave to be a head coach.
Yeah.
Or I get fired and now I'm chasing the next assistant coach job down the road. I am now global. Like, I'm going to be everywhere at this point. St. Louis might be my home in the off season. It may not be now at this point. And so I wasn't willing to make that trade at the time of leaving here, leaving my kids, leaving the radio gig. And then obviously things turned out okay. Still on radio, and the TV thing's going. But that was a decision / trade I had to basically turn down.
It's an interesting question for sure. And Gator, I appreciate what you said there in the snake pit, man. I do. Thank you. I won't read it, but Gator, I appreciate you. All right, we're going to carry this over. What does John say? Anthony, every year since 1983, I've sat myself in front of the TV, invited friends over, had food catered, waiting to be drafted by an NFL team. I'm almost ready to stop doing it. John, never give up on your dreams.
No,
At some point, some NFL team will say the name, John, and I don't know if you want your last name out there, but John and your last name.
If you want to know his name, then go to the YouTube channel.
Yeah, exactly. And I can't wait to watch it. I'm going to celebrate you. Now, will it actually be you? Probably not.
You ever heard of Vince Papali?
Yes.
Never know.
Exactly. He had his shot. He made the most of it. Yes. All right, we'll carry over our Sports Six-Pack next on 101 ESPN.
It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions. I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
Refreshed by the St. Charles Gun Crew. July 14th and 15th at the St. Charles Convention Center. Visit maxshows.com.
It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN with Carey Davis and Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. We'll continue our sports six-pack. Marsh, what do you got for question 3?
Question number 3.
From the 636, do you think Major League Baseball will ever change the rule of trading draft picks? The Cardinals are in that range where they would probably move up 2 spots to get a pitcher instead of hoping one of them falls to them at 7. Never understood the reasoning why they don't allow it.
Yeah, why is that?
Well, I
Hockey, basketball, football, you can trade draft picks included in on a trade for a player. Like, what's the reason?
I think they have a limited. I think they're adjusting this, and you can trade certain picks now.
Why can't you just trade any pick? What's the difference?
I don't know about that.
If you trade away your pick, that's on you.
Yeah, I don't. I'm trying to verify this. MLB trade deadline. The deadline. Let's see here. One of the teams to trade their 2024 competitive balance round picks. Once the draft starts, those selections will be used to grab actual players. Not surprisingly, the picks are the subject of trade talk, according to 4 heads of baseball operations who were granted blah 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 deals involving. Yeah, I think you can trade competitive balance round picks. 6 after the first round this year, 8 after the second. Major League Baseball allows those to be traded. They're the only selections Major League Baseball allows to be traded. The selections which go to teams that have either one of the 10 smallest markets or 10 lowest revenue pools, first awarded in 2013. So you can trade something. I don't know what the answer is to why they don't allow every pick to be traded. I'm with you. It would make more sense, unless it has to do with the cap. Or not the cap. There being no cap. So in other words, let's say the Pirates have, the first overall pick. They're a team that doesn't try. They don't care. They don't care to put a competitive team out there. They're just playing the luxury tax game. Okay. So instead of paying the top freight, because you're going to have to pay these guys right away, I'm just going to trade that pick. I'll trade them to the Yankees.
Once you draft him, you can trade him right away anyway.
You could, I guess.
I just don't get it because hockey didn't have a salary cap until 05-06.
Yeah, that's true.
And draft picks were traded all the time.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. Huh. I was theorizing with you.
Yeah, no, I'm just curious as to how come. Like, I think baseball is the only major sport that you can't trade a draft pick.
Sounds about right. Yeah.
All right.
I don't know.
Good job, baseball.
Question number 4.
From the 636.
Go to hell, baseball.
What's your favorite piece of gym equipment? Looking for most bang for your buck. I've been using the row machine. Seems like a full body workout, but I want to hear from the pros.
So there's this one machine. I don't even know what the hell you call it. It's got multiple pulleys on it. It's got like above, to the side, and then down below. And it's like a seat, but you can also move the seat up. You could do, honestly, no less than 100 different exercises on that machine. And you can do, chest press, you can do flies, you can do curls, you can do forearm stuff, you can even do squats, like from the ground, pull it up. You can do back, like lateral, for your lats and things. You can do shrugs for your traps. You can use this machine for almost any exercise out there. And the reason I bring this up is because the gym I go to, sometimes on Saturday mornings, it is slammed.
Yeah.
And so I'll look over at Ashley and I'll say, all right, I'm going to my machine.
Yeah.
I'll see you in an hour. And I will sit on that machine, and I'm sure it pisses people off. I'm sure they're looking over. Meanwhile, I'm totally okay with people working in.
Yeah.
That whole working in thing is gone bye-bye.
Yeah.
Like, you ask somebody, hey, can I work in? They look at you like you got a third eye.
Like it's their machine.
Yeah,
That's stupid. That's ridiculous. It's funny. Somebody just asked me to work. It was a younger kid, too. He asked me to work in yesterday. I go, absolutely, man.
Yeah. I always say yes.
And he adjusted the weight every single time. He adjusts the weight. I adjusted for him.
Put it back down.
There you go. Yeah.
So, but I'll hunker down on this machine. I'll find out the official name of it at some point, but that is the go-to machine where you can do You could take care of anything you need with that machine.
I would say the Smith machine. That's another one where you can get under there, squat, bench press if you need to, incline, so many different things, pulls and upright rows. It's a lot of things you can do on the Smith machine as well, and it protects you if you're unable to have a spotter. You can hook it back in there and get yourself taken care of. So
yeah, it depends on like where you are in your working out life. Like anybody listening now that's a serious lifter is probably laughing that we're talking about machines. But here's the thing. I mean, if you're in your 20s and you're still, look, do your bench press, do your squats and everything like that. But for us, we're all now in our 40s. We all have we are multiple, except for Marsh.
Some of us closer to 50.
3 of us, are in our 40s. You're talking about kids. You're talking about multiple jobs, all that stuff. You're just trying to like keep in shape and all that. I think the ones you're talking about is great. I always love too the hammer machines where they're plate loaded. Some you can do, middle chest, incline, all that, but it's not an all body like Jamie's talking about. You're really just talking about presses.
People can say what they want about machines. I've watched, I don't even know how many professional athletes use machines.
Sure.
If guys in the NFL and the NHL can use these types of machines,
I think you can too.
I think that a 17-year-old kid can use it.
I mean, free weights are good. But also machines are okay as well. It's not.
Free weights are fine except for kids who don't know what the hell they're doing.
Then you're wasting your time.
And they're not even isolating the right muscles. Yeah. They've got things, they're holding things the wrong way. There's no resistance on the way down. It's like,
what grinds my gears at the gym? When I see people lifting weight that they're using their entire back to get the weight, I was like, bro, you should lower the weight. It's okay.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to.
I see those guys all the time.
It's like, what are you?
They're doing like the pull down on the thing,
and
they're like
up.
almost standing up.
Oh yeah.
And then falling back.
Or it yanks them back up. Yeah.
It moves like 4 inches instead of like a full repetition.
Control the weight, then go up. Like
that's too heavy.
Control the weight.
No, it's all about how much you got on the stack, Anthony.
I learned that the hard way. When I first started lifting, I'm like, I'm going to do some dumbbells. I'm gonna get ripped. The weight barely went up, and I dropped it off the side of my face.
No.
I'm like, you know what? We're gonna start off slow. I'm gonna control this mother.
You have some injuries.
I do a lot off the face and the head.
Yeah. I had a teammate. He's doing the lat pull downs in the bar, and the cable snapped.
Oh God.
Split him right there.
Did I ever tell you when Jamie Rivers was working out in here? So Jamie and I, during the pandemic, decided to bring in the bands.
Oh, really?
So we're lifting in. So a commercial break hits. If we don't have a live, then we start working out with these bands. Jamie's doing curls one time. He's bent over a little bit. I'm watching him too at this point. The band snaps, whips him in the side of the head. I saw him make one adjustment and then keep going. He adjusted his foot so that he could, get his foot back under the band, what was left of it, and keep going. I'm like, that guy's an animal.
Finish the set.
He finished the set. That's right. That thing's, Carey. Keeps going. It's remarkable. Go ahead, Marsh.
Built different.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Question number 5. There's no question about it.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
All right, this is a long one, so stick with me here. From the 314, back in the day, there was a good deal of separation between ownership and locker rooms. The ownership ran the business in the business office, and the players played the game out of their locker room. Sure, there was politics, and sure, there was business decisions. Sure, there was bad blood. Sometimes people did not like where they got traded. Sometimes people did not like what their contract was. But at the end of the day, players got into the locker room and made the best of their surroundings and tried to be a team and win. These days, all of the numbers and all the analytics and all of the matrix is all tied together with the profit margin and the gambling and the juice and the spreads, and all of these business office things are all up in the locker rooms in the form of tablets with artificial intelligence computer programs managing the team. Puppets giving interviews pretending that they're making the decisions, and they're not. I wonder what it's like in the Cardinals clubhouse. I wonder if they feel like a team trying to win baseball games like it's on them. I wonder if they feel like they are the St. Louis Cardinals, or do they just feel like an extension of some org, like the way you play a video game? Maybe they're just the video game that the front office plays as if they had a joystick. I'm a fan of players playing the game. I just want to watch baseball. Have a good weekend. What are your thoughts?
All right, well, that was a very long statement. Why don't we give it a little breathing room here, and we'll answer that next on 101 ESPN.
Back in the day, there was a good deal of separation between ownership and locker.
All right, Mark. Yeah, let's paraphrase. So we had in the last question in the Sports Six Pack. Marsh read the entire question from one of our listeners who was listening at the time and said, he texted in and said, damn, guys, I didn't realize that was that long. I'll be briefer next time. Hey, all good. You know, Marsh actually thought a lot of your points were intriguing. That's why he threw it in the Sports Six Pack. It wasn't a bit or a joke.
No.
Yeah, it was a little lengthy.
Good question.
Yeah, it was a little lengthy, but
it took a while for us.
And let me paraphrase here. I think your point was teams are meddling too much with the players. Teams are getting too involved with, hey, here's a tablet, let's fix this, and here's your launch angle, there's this, that, and they're not allowing the players to just be players. I wonder if this is happening more so at a youth level, where a lot of these parents are getting kids involved with those personal coaches and things like that. Not to say every personal coach is this way, but it winds up being, I have to justify my salary or what I'm charging, so I better get all of these numbers and all of these analytics and all this stuff and all of these different, how many times do we have different machines now, different simulations? Oh, you got to do this, you got to do that. It's got to be all new tech. Mm-hmm. And they're trying to justify the bill. And we have completely, and again, maybe I'm misreading what he's saying here, but we have sucked out the instincts in sports. I coach my son's football and baseball team. These are 6-year-olds. Even at 6, I can tell when a kid has instincts. Uh-huh. He can see the field better than somebody else. Are we limiting the instincts, and we're just going to the tablet, going to the numbers? Hey, you got look at this, look at that, look at this. And it winds up being a big issue.
So here's where I'm going to start with it. I'm not going to get to the iPads and the technology yet, because for me it starts at a lot younger age.
All right, so I agree.
And I'll just describe hockey coaches, and we'll try to keep it on track here, because what I'm about to say could drag it off the rails. But
it has happened before.
I watch these hockey coaches stand there during games. Never mind practice, but during games. And all they're doing is yelling at the players what to do. Pass it, shoot it, skate, look out, do that the whole time. Yeah. Like, you talk about the joystick, right? The only thing that's missing is the joystick. They're trying to control each kid. And then when they're playing these competitive games, and instead of letting the kids use their skills or figure it out, or they get it out. Get it out. Shoot it. Get it out. I know. That's why I'm trying to keep it on the rails here. Okay? Because as we joke about that, it's the dumbest thing to ever say to a kid when you're trying to teach them the sport of hockey. It'd literally be like trying to blindfold a football player and tell him to run through the line of scrimmage. Mm-hmm. Like, it's just dumb. Yeah. So I stand there, and I'm always I'm in complete shock when I hear these coaches just yelling the whole time. First of all, the kids cannot hear you. They cannot. No matter how loud you yell, all they hear is, bah! They can't. Between the acoustics inside and the other people and the moms and dads, they can't hear it. Mm-hmm. And then I watch the coaches, and the kids come back to the bench, and they say nothing to them. That's your teaching moment, is on the bench with the dry erase board, and show the kid, like, hey, you made that play, good job, whatever. Mm-hmm. So fast forward, these same types of coaches now get to the high school level or whatever 15, 16-year-old hockey, basketball, football, baseball. They're the ones that first discover the iPad because they still want to control the kids. Yeah. And here you go. You got to do this. And they're not even showing the kids his own mistakes or plays. They're showing, like, Barry Bonds home runs. I'm not joking.
Do this.
I've seen people with iPads showing kids what Connor McDavid is doing. I'm like, are you out of your ever-loving mind?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I think some of the players have been polluted from a young age all the way up through, and now they're in the major leagues, and everybody who either can't figure something out, they just defer to technology. Well, the numbers say this. And, here you go, figure it out.
That makes that I hate it, and I do agree. I think that, as a coach, your job is to know what your players can and cannot do. Mm-hmm. Like, some players, as you said, Anthony, are better at some things than the other players, and you figure out what this guy does well or what he or she doesn't do well. And and if they don't do something well, you try to keep them from that. And so I think I agree with you as well, Jeremy. The numbers, and I think it's more in baseball where, well, the numbers say you should be hitting this and you should be doing this. but it's also a feel to the game. It's hand-eye coordination. It's an ability to recognize a pitch out of the pitcher's hand and not swing if you see the rotation of the ball and where it's going to end up. So I think, all of those can be taught, but some of those are naturally given instincts that players and people have. And I think when you are naturally gifted, you hone in more to that as a coach. You make sure that you kind of push that and make sure that player is honing in and being better with that. And those players that aren't as good, you teach them how to be better. But it's on the coach to do that.
You brought up the word instincts. We had a text from the 314. College soccer player. In the ideal situation, I think the data helps support and inform the instinct. If you know an opponent does X, Y, Z, you are prepared for that. I wouldn't bring this in until you're playing at a high level like high school.
Yeah, that's the key.
Even beyond.
Even beyond. They nailed it, yeah. If you already have the instincts, now you're adding on to an elite player. But, I don't want to throw coaches under the bus, too. We as parents do it as well.
Oh, the parents are the worst offenders because they get the kids in the car following whatever,
right,
and they just think they're smarter than the coach.
Absolutely, yeah. But even, I'll even throw myself under the bus here. Like my son Killian, he's a left-hander. So I'm like, I want to see you pitch, right? Well, now every time the poor kid picks up the ball, he's got a high leg kick and all. Like, buddy, you're playing second base. We don't need the high leg kick. But he's remembering what I taught him about being like. I screwed the kid up.
No, don't do that.
I don't think I screwed him up overall. But he remembers what I said.
Yeah, at least he remembered it.
That's true.
That's a good part of it.
But now it's like, hey, buddy, just do your thing. Like, pick up a rock, throw it, and then now I'm just going to put the baseball.
Put the ball in lieu of the rock.
Exactly.
You ever throw a paper route?
Yeah.
So we talk about instincts, and you guys, all of you will understand this. You guys all played sports at various levels, and what I feel is happening at times is coaches with yelling at the kids constantly with the technology. You're removing the instincts of the player. You're making that player have what you believe are the instincts. So really your instincts. Well, odds are most of the coaches that are coaching these young athletes never played anywhere significant most of the time.
Yeah.
So their instincts maybe weren't all that great. I believe in developing instincts for players. You can see a young hockey player when he's playing, how he's thinking, how he's processing the play, and the defensive players. You can watch them and you can see improvements, and you can coach instincts. Well, what were you thinking there? Well, I was thinking, when the guy's leaning that way, though, you can see his sticks on the other side go around the other way. Mm-hmm. So now the kid's, so when he comes down, you see him, and as it's happening, he's processing. He wants to go where the stick is, but then remembers, now you've coached instincts.
Right. Yeah.
But when you're constantly pounding home a message that you believe in, like that's just whatever, or the iPad, that's not necessarily the athlete's instincts, and that's where they veer off the course.
Yeah.
Rick says, I feel like this is exactly what the Cardinals are doing with Jordan Walker.
Yeah, they've ruined him.
Quite possible.
There's no doubt, and I think you trade him right now while you can.
Wow.
Yeah.
No.
Absolutely.
Got one more question to wrap this up from the 636. Yes. To make up for that long-ass question, only one can stay, the other is eliminated forever. Beer or liquor?
I'll go beer.
I'll go beer, too.
Beer gets to stay or leave?
Leave.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I used to drink a lot of beer, and now I can drink a lot of beer with really no effect except for bloating. So I'm like, no, I'd rather have a couple of bourbons and get a little buzz on and be just fine.
You might be right.
Yeah. I do like. There's
beer
sometimes
comes in handy though. Like you get a cold beer, it does.
There are some moments.
I agree.
Where a beer, you're just like this. There's nothing better.
Yeah.
When you're out by the lake and things like that, you're sitting there.
You don't want
a cold
group
beer.
of guys, group of people.
I don't want to be sipping on a bourbon in 100-degree weather. It'd be nice ice cold beer.
Right.
But if one had to go.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you on
sorry,
that one.
beer.
Yep. All right, it's the Fast Lane on 101 at ESPN. Taking more of your mic drops, playing more of your mic drops next. What would the Cardinals have to do at the deadline for you to say it was a win? And good job, Bud. If you said anything but beer, we're going to have problems in the snake pit. I'm assuming beer stays for you, Bud. You can't be named Bud and not choose liquor over beer. You know?
Yeah.
Carey, don't you disagree on this? It's just fundamental truth.
Yes, sir.
Carey still wants that Bud Ice.
I do. Still. Doobie, doobie, doobie.
That was a good marketing campaign.
Seriously good.
All right, more of your mic drops next. I hate when I go into a store and I'm there and there's this big sale going on whatever product it is, and I look and I say, okay, great, I can take advantage of this. And I'm like, wait a minute, you're also running some sort of free whatever. Oh, you can't stack the promotions. It drives me crazy because you're running both sales. You got me through the door. Now you tell me I can't stack and I can't save even more. Auto Centers, Nissan, Herculaneum, they don't do that. They got their hail sale going on. They extended it for a limited time. So when you go out there and you look at a vehicle that is already marked down because of their hail sale, they're not going to look at you and tell you that you can't also take advantage of what they have in July incentives. No, when it comes to new and used inventory, all current Nissan specials and incentives are eligible for any hail-affected new Nissan. So again, you've already got a markdown vehicle, plus you can add whatever the July deal is at Auto Centers Nissan Herculaneum. So go out there, talk to my friends. They're fantastic. We purchased our pre-owned Pathfinder from Auto Centers Nissan. We love it. Over 700 vehicles all in one location. You're bound to find that perfect car that fits your need and your budget. As always, 30-day new car return promise, complimentary lifetime warranty on new Nissans and eligible used vehicles, and a complimentary 1-year maintenance on new Nissan purchases. Start at AutoCentersNissan.com. Head down to Herculaneum. Tell them Stalter sent you. It's Auto Centers Nissan.
Okay, this is a win for the Cardinals. First trade, Tanner Scott for Matthew Libator and Tommy Edman. Second trade, straight up, Kevin Pillar for Dylan Carlson. And third trade, Fetty of the White Sox for Ivan Herrera and Gordon Graceffo. And I think that's a winner. Thanks, guys.
All right, Stan, appreciate you.
Who was the first one? I don't think I heard that one.
It was Tanner Scott, who's a left-hander for Miami. I can't remember what he gave up, though. Do you remember, Marsh? Can you replay that just so we get it right?
Okay, this is a win for the Cardinals. First trade, Tanner Scott for Matthew Libator and Tommy Edman.
His trades aren't terrible.
He's just given up a ton.
He is.
He's given up an absolute ton.
Everybody.
He's giving up, Fetty.
That's what you said to do.
I didn't say everybody.
I said
somebody.
I like the idea. I like his ideas here. So you're adding Tanner Scott, left-hander from Miami. He is, where's the age here? 29, so he's a little bit older. Who's the other guys you just added? Eric Fetty, and who's
Kevin Pillar.
Kevin Pillar. For Dylan Carlson. If I'm the Angels, I am putting Mo on hold. I'm crapping myself, and then I'm putting him back on. I'm taking him back. I'm going to say, you got a deal. I think you're fleecing me, but that's fine. Well, and Dylan Carlson hasn't done anything. But to give up Dylan Carlson, who we haven't really seen that much because of his own injury history and because he has fallen out of favor here, for somebody that is incredibly limited as a veteran player and who has already played over his skis, it doesn't make much sense.
Are you crapping yourself, or are you crapping
myself
in a great way, like a bathtub,
in a great way,
in someone's backyard,
anywhere, wherever I'm at, throwing it out the window. I'm crapping myself because I can't believe that I'm getting. Again, I'm the Angels, right? And Dylan Carlson hasn't done much, but that one's rough for me. I'm sorry. Like, Kevin Pillar is fine. He's fine. Eric Fetty's having a really good season. I think whatever his deal was for Eric Fetty, I thought was pretty high too.
It was Herrera and
Graceffo. Like, if I'm the White Sox, I'm loving that because I picked up Fetty, who stunk Ola for Washington for several years, barely hanging on as a fifth starter. He's having a really good year, and now I parlay that into a starting catcher and a young pitching prospect.
Two cost-controlled players.
That's all. So, Stan, I think I like your approach in terms of who, like, the starting pitcher. You're getting a starting pitcher, you're getting a reliever, you're getting a bat. I just think you're giving up a gross amount. That's all. But I appreciate it because you know what? I'll tell you one thing that Stan did that most people have not, including myself. He put together actual trade packages, and he did not undersell at all.
No.
Like, I think he went over. I would rather hear Stan be realistic about it and say, "Hey, I'm gonna have to give up something to make my team better," as opposed to what like many of us do. Why don't you give me Luis Robert and Garrett Crochet, and I'll give you prospects. But it's not going to be Jordan Walker or Tink Hens. Like, I think we do that too many times. So Stan, again, I applaud you. Thanks for sending in that mic. It was a great mic drop, and I love the fact that you put together some actual trade pieces. Let's hear from Brandon next.
So, for this trade deadline to be a win, in my opinion, I believe Goldschmidt needs to be a Yankee, and Arenado needs to be a Dodger after, when it's all said and done. Yeah, they're not at their highest value right now, but from those two teams, as desperate as they are to get to the postseason and the World Series, I think they would overpay for pieces like that. And it would be getting $60 million off of our books when we know we ain't going to do anything next year, even if we do get in. So, in my opinion, Goldie and Otto gone would be the only way we can win this trade deadline.
All right. Interesting.
He picked the right teams and where they could go, especially with the Rizzo problem in New York. Goldie could slide in there. And then I don't know who they have on third base with the Dodgers, and the Dodgers would be able to absorb that money. They don't care.
Muncy, when he's not hurt. Who do they have they're playing right now?
I think this was should have been in 2023. That was the conversation you were looking for. I don't think it's happening in 2024.
Tonight they have, who's playing third base for the Dodgers? Kike Hernandez is playing third. Yeah. I would entertain that.
You're not going to get much of a return on the Goldie trade.
No.
You're just not. Even though you have some kind of leverage because the Yankees need a first baseman right now, but I don't think you're going to get a lot there.
And I'll tell you what, I'd rather work with the Dodgers. You know that farm system's good.
They're still not going to give you a whole lot. They're taking $35 million off your payroll. They're doing you a favor.
Don't do me any favors.
I did you a favor.
Give us one of those top pitching prospects, and we'll call it a deal. All right?
You
good?
You can have Kershaw.
Give me Walker Bueller.
Timmy Tight Pants.
We'll take him off your
He hasn't played
hands.
in 2 years.
That's fine. All right, let's hear from Paul next.
Winning the deadline for me would be getting another top-line starter, even a number 3. I think a combination of Sonny Gray, another solid starter, Kyle Gibson, and Michaelis being your 4 starter in the playoffs is just fine. Have Lynn come out of the bullpen in the first round if he sucks like he did his last start and can't figure it out. You take him off the roster. We did that with Jason Marquis for the year we won the World Series, and he was one of our top starters all year. But he wasn't performing at playoff time. You got to make those decisions. And for what else in the trade deadline, I don't know why we're talking about a right-handed bat in the outfield. We got Contreras, Goldschmidt, Arenado. They're going to be in the lineup every day, so why are we talking about another right-handed bat? I think we have enough there. We probably need a solid reliever just in case, another maybe 7th inning, 8th inning guy who's a shutdown guy, or can step into the closer role if, God forbid, anything happens to Helsley, because that always seems to happen going into the playoffs. Thanks.
I love, to me, I think you nailed it. Paul nailed it with talking about the right-handed bat. I don't think they need a bat at this point. Like, if we're talking about Kevin Pillar, I'm out. Why add Kevin Pillar again? No offense to Stan or anybody who's brought this up. Marsh, in fact, you wanted yourself. You were all up in Kevin Pillar earlier in the year. You loved him. You had pictures on the wall here.
He did. Whoa.
He had the
got
jersey.
A little tattoo of it says KP.
Yeah, which I thought was kind of extreme.
I thought it was Kristaps Porzingis.
No, it was Kevin Pillar.
It was Kevin Pillar.
I got confused.
Adding Kevin Pillar does nothing for me. I'd rather take the resources and pour it into another reliever or a starter, even if that starter isn't going to be somebody that's going to be a top end guy, even if he's going to be a 4th for you. I'd rather go that route.
I agree. I go back to what I've said here for I don't know how many days. The reason they're looking for a right-handed bat is because Goldie and Arenado are not doing what they need to do. Mm-hmm. This is the only reason they're even thinking about it. If one of those guys was mashing baseballs, then they probably wouldn't even talk about it. And I see your hands over here. I know what you just said.
What's your problem?
No, he's about to go back and say, get rid of Goldie and get rid of Arenado.
No, not at all.
What's your deal, Carey?
I'm
what are you
going back
waving
to
your
what
hands
I
at me
said
for?
at 2 o'clock, 2:05. Garrett Crochet, Luis Robert.
Yeah, but you didn't want to give up anybody. At least Stan was willing to give up the entire organization for Kevin Pillar.
All I said was it ain't my job to figure out who you get rid of.
But what does that have to do with Arenado?
You need a bat? Get him. Or I put my hands on my head because they ain't going to do nothing.
Well, I know that, Carey.
And
but
so it's
if
like,
we just do that, we're going to get fired.
Okay, you're right. You got a point.
I'm just saying, man. If we go 3.5 hours of dead air, we're probably fired.
Just don't say it. What are the Cardinals going to do?
Nothing.
That's not good radio.
Now you get it. All right. Thank you so much for all the mic drops. That was a lot of fun. I loved all the different perspectives. That was great stuff. We're going to play Beat the Streak and Biggest Question of the Day next on 101 ESPN.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The Cardinals taking on the Cubs tonight, 7:15 first pitch. Sonny Gray going up against Kyle Hendricks, and you can watch that game on Apple TV. We've talked all day long about your St. Louis Cardinals. We even asked you, what would the Cardinals have to do at the deadline for you to say it was a win? If you missed any of that, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free 101 mobile app. You'll find all of our full shows there, and it's all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. We have Beat the Streak and Biggest Question of the Day coming up next. I'm Andrew Marsh, and this Sports Center update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, an independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
I want to hit baseballs. All of my successes depend on me.
You're ready to hit.
The hits just keep on coming. And his first big league hit is a bullet up the middle.
It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN with Carey Davis and Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. Andrew Marsh here as well. We have Brian back on the line. What's up, Brian?
Not much, you guys. How you doing?
Doing very well. Brian won the other night. What's our updated streaks?
Anthony, you're at a streak of 2.
Yes.
Jamie's at a streak of 1.
Yes.
Brian is at a streak of 1. And unfortunately, Carey and I are back to 0.
Oh, no.
You had...
Oh, God, he got you. He did that to me not too long ago, too.
Sorry
We went like 0 for 5 one game. It was
Brian
great.
had Lars Nootbaar, who hit a home run.
Oh, there you go. Good.
Yeah.
All right. Marsh, please give me Mason Wynn to get a hit tonight. Mason Wynn is my selection for Beat the Streak.
Who's up? Is it?
It's Brian.
Brian? All right, go ahead, Brian.
I guess I'll stick with Lars and see if he can keep it going.
Might as well. Ride that Hawkeye, Brian.
Yep. Wise choice. All right. I'm going to double down here. Alec Burleson.
Alec Burleson is off the board. Okay.
Carey, you can go next.
All righty, I'm torn. Give me Ian Happ.
No!
Wow, Marsh, you didn't think he was going to do it to you.
462 and 1346 in OPS.
You left him wide open because you thought, you know what? Nobody's going to throw the ball to him. And CD said, hold my butt ice.
Yeah.
And Marsh even was like, go ahead, CD.
Yeah, go ahead. He almost like taunted him.
He did, almost
Yeah.
like just like patronizing him a little.
Yep,
Sorry.
totally.
I was just being nice,
I
and
appreciate
Carey
it.
spat in my face.
Yeah, totally. Yep,
Carey
I
likes
saw
to
it. We
win.
all saw it.
I do.
Yeah. All right, so Marsh.
Give me Miles Mastroboni.
Okay.
What a name.
What a name, what a guy.
Mm-hmm.
All right, there you have it. Here's Beat the Streak. Brian, good luck to you. Have a great weekend, man.
Yeah, good luck to you guys, too.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now it's time for biggest question of the day.
It's time for the Fast Lane's biggest question of the day.
All right, guys. Jamie keeps laughing. What is so funny?
Oh, no.
Don't worry. Don't worry about it.
All right.
Brian got a little giggle, too, on the phone.
You okay there?
I'm fine.
Too young or too inappropriate for my ears?
Probably.
I
Yeah.
didn't say anything wrong.
This is a family show.
This certainly is.
He said it.
He did.
All right, let's get to the actual biggest question of the day. Anthony, you teased this earlier. We look at the Cardinals lineup. I think it looks pretty good. If this is your best lineup, are you okay with that? Moving forward, could this be a postseason roster, postseason lineup?
I think this lineup is pretty solid. I think this lineup is more than capable. Yeah.
How many years have we been doing this?
I know.
You look at the lineup, you're like,
Yes, this lineup,
You
that's
guys have a
fine.
great weekend. I'm out of here.
Finally.
See you, Carey. We'll take the New York Yankees for you.
What's that mean? No, go ahead. We're good.
Carey, I can't always phrase it in the standpoint of like winning a World Series, or else we'll never have any discussion.
Don't you
I
know?
understand it.
The only thing you can say is Cardinals World Series or bust.
I know for Carey.
I
or
know.
else he gets disgusted.
He's thoroughly disgusted.
I'm sorry, you all don't like championships?
Oh,
World Series or pee in a trash can?
Either or.
You know?
Yeah. Just got to hit the trash can.
Or don't.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was hit.
Ish.
Yeah. Anyways, I think this lineup is more than capable of winning the division.
Yeah, I agree. I think this is a potential division winning team. Of course, as it sits right now, we don't have the luxury of knowing what the Cardinals do at the deadline, which, let's just be honest, probably is not going to be very much. It won't be overwhelming, that's for sure. So this is probably what you're going with into the playoffs. Can you win a series? Maybe, but that's probably it. And that's that. I'm assuming at this point that Goldie and Arenado have made themselves like part of the game again. Like not all-star or MVP caliber, but at least they're in the at least they're helping a little bit.
They have a pulse.
Yes, correct.
So if by your opinions, you just
this should be good.
Here we go.
I know, he's setting us up.
Make sure we're recording this.
I'm just asking. If that's the case, this fine, as Anthony said, should make a push to win the division. You didn't say anything about winning a playoff game.
I said a series.
No, you said a series?
I did. I said
one series.
You win a series. One
wild
series.
Card.
Yeah. I said after that, probably done.
He didn't say it confidently, but he did say it.
I did say it, though.
You did say it.
There's record of it.
And then your answer is they're not going to do anything at the trade deadline. That gives you confidence to, I mean,
confidence to say they'll win the first round or whatever? Yeah. After that, no, I have none.
So what's the purpose? What's the goal?
I don't know.
When Jamie, you all did this, I'm sure. You have your season goals at the beginning of the season. Normally it was for us win the division, get a first round bye. That way we know we're in the second round of the playoffs. Have home field advantage throughout. That was our in Pittsburgh. That was the standard, the expectation. Win the division, first round bye. That means you're either first or second seed, preferably the first. Home field advantage throughout the playoffs. And damn it, AFC Championship game at Heinz Field, preparing for a Super Bowl. That was the mindset.
Yeah.
That not the mindset for the Cardinals?
The players probably. And the coaches probably.
But in order for that to come to fruition, it has to filter from the top down to the bottom. From the front office,
but it doesn't always. You know that. You played in a unique. Hang on. You played a unique situation in Pittsburgh.
Damn it, Jamie!
Which is a great organization. Hey, I'm telling you, they're a great organization, top to bottom. I actually don't even have to tell you that. You know that.
Correct.
But you also played on some other teams.
Not so great.
Not so great,
my friend. But this is the St. Louis Cardinals.
I'm just telling you.
This is not one of those not so great organizations. But when we speak of the St. Louis Cardinals and the Pittsburgh Steelers, I think of them on par.
Carey, you're tell you what's going to happen here.
I'm going to be heartbroken.
You're going to be upset.
You're going to be upset big time.
Yeah, and you're going to be upset with Anthony and me and Marshy.
Yep.
And just because we're telling you what the Cardinals will do.
All right.
We're not telling you what they should do. And you're taking it as like what they should do.
Right.
I'm not saying that. What they should do is go get Garrett Crochet and give up almost whatever they have to get him. That's what I think they should do. They're not going to do that. So based on what they're not going to do, I have to look at this lineup and try to look at it and evaluate and go, okay, it's a Central Division winner / first round maybe winner. After that, we're on the golf course. I can't help that. It's not my fault.
Yeah.
Are we at least out of state? Because it's going to be kind of cool here in October.
But golfing?
Yeah.
Oh, it's perfect golf weather. Love October golf. No, it's beautiful.
I just see it too.
It's great.
Listen,
you can actually
Carey,
wear pants.
What we're trying to do is prepare you for life. Jamie and I are trying to prepare you for life. We're trying
life is hard, Carey.
We're trying to give you realistic expectations and goals and things like that. Now, when the Cardinals, fall short, you're going to look at us and see, I told you they should have done X, Y, and Z. They should have gone for it. And Jamie and I are going to look at you and say, that wasn't our point.
This is all I want to do in October. This is all I ask for, to wear these glasses in October. And you all are essentially telling me there's no need for the damn glasses in October.
We're not
I might as well put on the blue glasses because the blue season is about to start.
Look, he's wearing a Synergy hockey shirt.
I'm wearing the Synergy. I'm getting ready. That's what you're telling me. These glasses are awesome.
Carey, just have to think of
the feeling that you get when you put them on.
06 and 11. Just got to get in, Carey.
All right. Marshy, we don't touch the glasses anymore this season.
At the end of the day.
The day gonna end.
Wow. I didn't see that coming, but he's right. It does end.
It does.
Yeah. All right. We've got Ethan, who's coming up. He's going for 150 in Fade or Follow. He faded us last week. Told us to go right to hell, and he was right. So we'll see what Ethan has for us next. We have Bet the Board, Fade or Follow, 3 stars of the day, criticisms, compliments, all coming at you next on 101 ESPN.
It's time for FanDuel Fade or Follow on the Fast Lane.
Brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more.
Everyone follow us.
I'll fade. Money, 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 money.
It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Carey Davis, Jamie Rivers, I'm Anthony Stalter, and we welcome back Ethan. Ethan got on the board again last week for Fade or Follow. He's going for 150 this time around. What's up, Ethan?
Hey, how you guys doing?
We're doing great, man. Congratulations on your winning play last week. You faded us, and it was a smart call. Nice job.
Yeah, thank you.
So, we've got a new Cardinals-related play tonight, and I'm actually going to let Jamie Rivers take this one because it was a play he was actually contemplating for Bet the Board.
Yeah, we got Sonny Gray on the bump against the Cubbies. The over-under for strikeouts is set at 5.5. I think Sonny Gray goes over that. So the Fast Lanes play is over 5.5 strikeouts for Sonny Gray. Fade or follow?
Yeah, I'm going to follow this one. I think you get a lot of guys looking, and the Cubs aren't that great of an offensive team. I'm going to follow you guys.
Beautiful. Yes. There we go. I always just feel better when,
follow us?
Ethan follows us, or anybody for that matter. Absolutely. Yeah. So, Ethan, best of luck. We hope to talk to you next Friday, and have yourself a great weekend, my man.
Thank you.
All right, buddy. We'll see you. Okay, time for Bet the Board. Marsh, what's the latest standings, my man?
Well, Jamie is still in front. Lost his first game yesterday.
Yeah, thanks, Orioles.
No thanks to the Baltimore Orioles.
Which the Orioles were a blue heron.
Oh, no.
Flying to a curve.
But there's a beautiful bird.
They're sick.
That's tough, man.
Sorry. They made me really angry.
I don't blame you.
You can lose.
Just don't lose that bad.
Come on.
Yeah.
Anthony, you were 4-3. Carey, you were 4-3, and I am 5-2.
You go, boy.
So what am I, 6-1?
Yes.
Oof. All right. Cardinals, Cubbies. I just talked about Sonny Gray, the strikeouts. I seriously considered that. But then I saw something.
Oh.
You got an RHP on the bump for the Cubbies. You got a big, heavy left bat right in the 8-hole. Yeah. 0.5 total bases for Nolan Gorman. I'm going to take the over. It's at -140.
Okay. I like that.
Why?
You guys already know where I'm going. I'm going back to the W. I'm looking at my record here. I'm 9-1 with the W,
Good
which
for you,
is probably going to be 9-2 after I just said that. But I am going with the Minnesota Lynx plus 6.5 at -110. I'm looking at the trends here. They're pretty good against the spread against Seattle. So, and they've won the last 2 games. I'm surprised that they are the underdog in this game at plus 220 on the money line. So give me plus 6.5 for Minnesota tonight.
I'm also going to go to the W. Give me Caitlin Clark over in assist. She's at, the number's at 9.5. Over an assist. She's got double-digit assist in like 4 of her last 5 games.
Well, I'm going to go to the team that Jamie doesn't like anymore, the Baltimore Orioles.
Yeah, good luck with them.
Gunnar Henderson.
Oh, he's pretty good.
Oh, you're going back
over
to
1.5 in hits, runs, and RBIs.
Carey got excited.
-135.
Carey got excited yesterday before we were off air. Actually, it was right after we got off air. Juan Soto, who he had taken in this exact play, he hit a double, and Carey's like, yes, I'm already there. And then before you know it, I think his next at bat, he hit a home run. So, Carey's unlocked something.
Runs and RBIs. 1.5.
So he's got to score 1 of those or 2 of those?
Well, he needs a 1 hit and 1 RBI, or 1 hit and 1 run. Just needs to get 2.
Some combination.
If he gets 2 hits, I'm over.
It's a weird bet. Seems fishy to me.
Nah, man, I learned from the best. Gonna ride this thing out here.
Really, Jamie?
What?
Yeah, you know what. All right, Marsh, what do you got for criticisms and compliments?
Yeah, we got one from Tanisha in the Snake Pit. Great show as always, fellas. You all have a great weekend.
Thank you very much,
Well,
Tanisha.
thank you.
I love that Tanisha listens all the time.
Yeah.
Ooh, I like this from Sick Blue Heron. Orioles aren't good for anything.
You're right. You're right. Glad you're not sick anymore.
That's pretty funny.
Gator says, oh, Marshy and his WNBA. Love it. Such a bold young man.
He is. He absolutely is.
Let's get to our 3 stars of the day. Our 3rd star of the day, we just heard from him in the Snake Pit. That goes to Sick Blue Heron.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Incredible.
Our 2nd star of the day goes to a text message that we received earlier today. It was very long.
Oh, yeah.
So But it produced what I think was a good conversation. Second star of the day goes to long text messages.
Yes. Nice. Love it.
Ordinarily, we don't have the attention span to even read those.
No.
But Marshy did.
Yeah.
I did. I found it interesting. So shout out to the long text messages. And our first star of the day goes to Carey's favorite beer, Bud Ice.
Bud Ice. I was waiting for this one. I'm glad that Bud Ice showed up when it counted the most.
I remember when that came in. I remember that became a thing. I did a whole bunch of promos around town because Anheuser-Busch was part of the Blues. And, it was wild. The clear bottles.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it was wild. Man, it was a good time to be alive, man.
Good times, great oldies. That's for sure.
I know what Bud Ice is. I used to have a Bud Ice Blues poster.
You did, huh?
Yeah, I'm sorry. No, it was a Bud Ice
light
goalie helmet lamp.
Wow, that's a hell of a combination.
And then it broke when I took it to college.
Oh, no.
What'd you do to it at college?
I didn't do anything to it. I was pretty protective over it. And then, we had some parties, and some kids liked to be a little aggressive, and they were bumping into the thing, and it broke.
Whose ass did you have to kick after?
Everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd be pretty angry.
I'm with Jamie on this one. You don't ruin a man's lamp, you know? You don't touch a man's lamp without his approval. It's Fast Lane on 101 ESPN.
Got the little thing hanging down.
Yeah, no, that's a good call.
Play with the chain.
Everybody have a great weekend. For Andrew Marsh, Carey Davis, and Jamie Rivers, I'm Anthony Stalter. See ya.